What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Capsule. We are back once again. Yeah, how's everyone? How's it going? What's happening? We have, I never really introduced the guests, but we have another two special guests. I say that every week. But our two special guests for this week are, we have the return of Chaldon.
Yeah.
Back by popular demand.
Yeah, of course.
And we have Josh Constantanzo. Josh Good Looking Constantanzo.
Wow.
That's what Abe called him, and it's stuck.
So many people have now called me that.
Really?
Yeah. Since I reposted that on my story, so many people are like, Constantanzo. I'm just like, guys.
I don't know what we were talking about, but it was something that you were involved with. And yeah, Abe just goes, Josh, you mean Good Looking Constantanzo one? He's like, yeah. And then it's just stuck.
Yeah.
So yeah, and Josh said, because last time we were speaking about DJ stuff, and Josh said, how dare you speak about DJ stuff without me? How dare you bring up music without me being on the sofa? So I said, all right, fine, you can come to the
Don't think I worded it like
he said, how dare you talk about these other DJs without involving me? No, he didn't say that. But yeah, so we have Josh and Chaldon. How is everyone? What's happening? How's life?
Bless. Yeah, life is good. Life is very good. Life is life-in.
Yeah,
That's
love it. Yeah.
Life is life-in. I'm working, keeping busy.
Yeah.
Enjoying my weekends, enjoying my time when I do finish work. But yeah.
Because you were saying about not having battled for a while, but how long has it actually been since you did like the last, or like, let's say dance?
Do you know what? I can't put a name like...
Just a boo or something.
Bro, if it is Imagine. That, then that is nuts.
Just a boo.
Maybe a Groovanometry or something, bro. I remember you did that,
I think the last time was Groovanometry in Manchester.
Not the one that's just gone?
No, yeah.
The one with Feist?
Yeah.
The one with Feist.
But you were a guest?
Yeah, I ended up judging the hip hop because Feist didn't want to.
Oh, yeah.
There was that whole thing, but
I mean,
yeah.
No comment.
No comment.
I don't know about that stuff.
Full stop.
We'll tell you after.
But yeah, I think that was the last time that I battled, and then prior to that, it was probably like before COVID. So.
Oh no way! That long?
Yeah, man. Like it's just been. I don't know. It's crazy. Like obviously talking about DJing and stuff, but just being booked, which is a blessing. You know, it's a real blessing. It's nice, like having consistent events and stuff to DJ at and to play my music at. But yeah, just haven't battled for so long. And I think the one time that I did battle, it didn't even really feel like a battle because obviously it was Groovanometry.
Yeah,
it was more of like an exhibition.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So what you're saying is you're not satisfied until you see the judges point your way and you see someone else go home in tears.
yeah.
He's like, it doesn't fucking feel good unless I know I won.
Yeah, pretty much. Let's put it that way. Yeah.
I hear it though.
Pretty much.
So how are you feeling about, because it's so funny because it's like the way I see like kind of Kane and them lot's generation is like, I remember when that was you guys' generation, you know, like the new kind of current generation. But it's so funny now because it's like with them around, you are like almost the older gen now.
Yeah.
I don't know what that makes us.
Do you know what? Do you know what? I was having this
walking stick.
I was having this conversation with wow. I just clocked what you said. I was having this conversation with Jordan, J-Funk the other day and Toby Oddventure. We were just talking about it and we were just discussing like how would you define like what is the new / current generation and then what is my generation, Chaldon's generation, your generation, like how would you define it? And we just put it in 3 different categories.
Okay,
so
go on.
It'd be like your older generation would be like, I don't know, like Cash, Brooke, Marvel, Roxy, etc. Mid-generation, we called it a mid-generation, would be like, I'd still sort of include Chaldon in that, but then I'd still also like to include him in like the mid, which would be like my generation. So like myself, Evian, Chaldon, like Future Formalities lot, GSB, GSB?
Yeah, I'd agree with
GSB. I'd put GSB in there. I'd also put Gambino. Yeah, so that sort of era. And then, like I'd say new / current is like everybody that's now in the scene now. So
interesting.
That's how I see it.
So that would kind of put us like in between maybe. Well, no, because this is the hard thing about the generations conversation is like do you go by their age or do you go by their like presence in the scene? And then that's always subjective. You know what I mean? Because it's like, I always say this, but it's like if we like as an example for the battle generations, it's like I battled before Brooke ever did his first battle.
Mad.
Right? But then because he came in and pretty much went like straight up, then it's like, okay, his like impact in the battle scene was like, you know what I mean? It was
that's
more.
That's why you think of him as that, I don't
like
know.
older gen,
older
but then
gen,
it's like, and then it's also like there's people that were kind of maybe started around the same time as Brooke or whoever, and then they stopped. You know what I mean? Whereas people carry on, and then you think of them as like, and then there's people like, we're talking about this with Lewis, where he was kind of like your generation, stopped dancing, came back, and now a lot of people are thinking that he's just came into the scene, and he's like, because like people have like said to him like, oh, how do you know all of these? And he's like, oh, I was I was dancing with them when in new movements and all that. So
crazy.
It's really hard to define battle genre because it's all subjective, isn't it?
It is all, I think everyone's got their own like preference to it.
Yeah.
Because like if you're talking about new movements, there were so many people there who like, I don't know, like Toby, as in like Toby Big Shush. He was somebody who obviously was teaching at Kazar when I was at Kazar.
Yeah.
And
Kazar, you know.
That I look at him just because I was so young, and like obviously he was teaching, he was winning battles at new movements. I know that was under 18, but like I always sort of looked at him as like the older person there. Yeah. Just because he was teaching, but I'd actually include him in the bracket of maybe older gen, but that's what I mean, it's subjective. So it's,
I mean, even the new movements thing, like people who battled there, that was like a whole generation in itself.
Yeah.
Like if you were in that period when it was at Stratford Circus and you're doing those battles, that's I feel like that's what a lot of what defined you guys' generation.
True. Yeah, true.
Because a lot of the people who did that were there at that time doing those. Yeah. I feel like you're going to say something. You like raise the mic.
I agree, to be honest. Like it is subjective, because I judge it from like GWI days, like who I used to see like on stage and stuff, and that was like Plague and like
because it's also
all of them lot.
Like if you cross
like the choreo and it's a hard one still,
because it's like then if you think of like when I first started dancing, the generation of hip hop dancers who were there is like Kenrick, Kofi, Ivan,
exactly,
Malcolm, and all that.
That's the older generation to me. So I wouldn't say that I'm like technically older generation.
Yeah, so that's our older generation.
Yeah, like.
But then it's like also there's people that were maybe like in the choreo world were like way older. You know what I mean? Like,
facts. And then some of them were like our age, but they were dancing with the older lot and then seemed obviously older at the time, maybe. True. So it's a hard one, to be honest, but
because even Josh was like around probably before a lot of your generation. You were probably around before them, because I remember you from like when you were like a little kid. Remember you came to the UMA battles in like, I want to say like 2014 or something.
And we're still doing popping and all that.
You
were doing popping, bro.
Popping, locking.
Yeah, and you were like a little kid, and that was. So if you think about that, it's like, okay, well, you were technically around before a lot of them, but then when you got old enough to kind of really make an impact and start.
Yeah, I guess in that sense, it is like you do look at it as the impact that you do make on the scene. Yeah. Because like you say, I think I must have been in the scene maybe when I was like from like 2011, 2012, I think so, maybe even prior to that. But obviously I wasn't doing my thing. And then obviously growing up and then started doing stuff and traveling, etc. And I think that's when I made myself become part of a generation. Yeah, that's, if that makes sense. So,
yeah, for sure. Yeah, you kind of have to like cement it, you know, and to be for people to recognize you as part of that, I guess. Yeah. Actually, maybe for people that don't know, should we describe what GWI was? Because that's how I first think of you. You were in Vortex, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's
Vortex.
how I first remember you. Mad. But there's probably people that have no idea what that was.
Yeah, so like back then, obviously it was like showcases. We had showcases on a regular, like obviously Deja Vu, Yan was doing his thing, like Breakout, Dancers Delight back then, like in Clapham or something like that. But yeah, GWI was like the one. It was like basically how everyone I guess sees like UDO being like, or like maybe HHI and all of that back then for like obviously international. In the UK for GWI was like the one. like it was.
Yeah, it was
the
like
one
a
competition.
big cruise competition. I don't know who ran it or whatever, but it was like at the Hammersmith Apollo. It was
Yeah,
like,
facts.
It was big,
They had some mad locations. Yeah, for
and
real.
I don't remember whether it was packed out or not. I just remember like
Neither do I, to be honest. I feel like it was just packed with the dancers. Mainly.
yeah, but it was always big.
Was it battles or was it just like crew
Just
stuff?
crew competition. So it was like a
choreo comps.
everyone would enter. I think there was different age categories, maybe.
Yeah, there was. Yeah. But everyone came with like the theme, the costume.
It was a real it was very. It's not strange, but it was like it really had its own aesthetic. So like a GWI type, like you could do a routine and it would be like, oh, that's a GWI type routine. Yeah, there was loads of like, remember the like slow motion wave thing?
That
was like, it was like
similar. I want to ask, like, is it like similar time as Jump Off or like before or after?
Probably happening.
I know Jump Off was happening.
Similar, I think.
Because Jump Off finished when, like 2000 and.
I can't remember.
I mean, they were dragging it out a little bit. That's no shade to anyone.
Yeah, the last few.
But like, there was a lot.
Really
you started watching the videos on YouTube and there's just like barely anyone in the crowd.
But I think also my thing with Jump Off is like I feel like it didn't. They could have been the center of the battle scene because they were doing it big 100%. Before everyone. But I think they didn't keep up with what was changing in the battle scene. So people started to feel like it was just and like the whole like big crew of people with loads of routines. It wasn't really a thing anymore, and it started to become like when Just Taboo came in 2011 here. Then it was like it started to become like all right, 2v2 battles, and then 1v1 became more popular. And it's if they had done that and just put a 1v1 hip hop format,
that would have been so cold
because they had all the other stuff. They had all the like rap stuff.
But then they started doing
sick.
But then they started doing that whole. To my knowledge, they were doing that whole like set your own music, and like you will have to like basically choreograph each round to that set music.
Yeah, they were trying to do it like a You Got Served type of.
That's what happened when we did it. Right. So when we did it with Kazar, it was like I remember rehearsing for like the days leading up to it, to the music that we knew that they were going to play, to how they were going to mix it, etc.
Yeah, I think that's.
And it's like it was all timed. You had to time it to perfection. So it's like even when like. I think if you watch back some of the videos on YouTube, you could probably see like when we were going up against like IMD, it was like
pushing them out the way
because it's like you're eating into it at a time when we're meant to be dancing.
Yeah, which is like a mix of like. I remember that being a bit like rowdy as well, but like I think it's a mix of like how battles should be in the sense that there's like time limits and you have to switch at the right time, but also with the rehearse thing, it's a bit like. Well, I didn't fucking make up all these routines to this music for you to take up my time. But yeah, I think Jump Off could have like that could have been they could have cashed in on the battle scene like
100%.
They could have been like what Throwdown was or any of and really had a cemented thing. But I think you can't be. I guess I don't know. Maybe they weren't interested really. But why was I asking that? Oh, because we were talking about GWI. So it had its own like
the good old days.
Its own kind of culture, its own type of routines. It was very like. Sound effects and like people would like edit the track. It would be like, and it was like you take one song and just chop the shit out of it, and it would just be like explosion sound effect, and it would always it was weird. I feel like the sort of do you go choreographer's ball?
No, I always missed that one. I feel like I was like too young at the time or something.
Maybe like because I only went to like the last one or two, I think.
Okay, yeah.
But like maybe like Collabo or
Collabo was nice.
I feel like that was like that choreo type of showcase, which is I guess maybe more the norm now, just like doing pieces. Almost. That came at the same time as GWI, but that was like, oh, we are more the purists and we want to do straight choreo and we don't want to do, because it would be like, oh, we're going to do like a Super Mario theme and they would be like 20 dancers on stage with like all the costumes and they would have like cardboard cutouts and all sorts of stuff, and it would be the Mario theme tune with like a little Wayne track
we had a Mario like go-kart thing across the stage one time, like we went in.
Yeah, we did the one time I did it at no, I've done it 2 or 3 times. The first time I did it was at Hammersmith Apollo and I was dressed up as an Oompa Loompa.
Oh, man. That would have been amazing to see that.
Doing popping on like Oompa Loompa.
We were doing the most. We were doing
like,
the most.
Just like the most bait boogaloo moves as well. Just like... Anyway.
Collabo was... Tony, right?
Yeah, that was Avant-Garde that did that Abstract for Circus.
I feel like that was a good one still.
Collabo was sick, and like I really liked the they had the things of like where you have to pair up with another group and make a piece together,
or like the music was provided for you.
So I think the music was provided if you were doing that wasn't the collaboration part.
No, that was like the improv, because Bird did it one time. We did like an improv on stage, like I think someone was like making a beat on stage or something.
That's cool. When we did it, we did like he literally mixed a soundtrack for us.
Yeah.
So it's like
we're all saying that, but that's the same with us when we did it. So we had like a composer. Kazar, yeah. Had a composer create our set, and then it was like, I think it was like 10-15 minutes.
Yeah. Ours was just like 5, I think it was like.
Okay.
But yeah, it was like, you know, he mixed, it wasn't like loads of cuts or something, it was just like songs, so you had to choreograph to all the tracks.
Sick.
And then the collabo bit was
like two
Bird
companies,
and blah blah blah, and then you had the freedom to do whatever you want. It just has to be together. But yeah, it's just funny because it's like that was the GWI was the like over the top flips and soundtrack.
It was gymnastics.
That's where we first saw Diversity.
And then they won.
GWI. Yeah, because they
came out of nowhere.
They won. That was the first year that I did it. Actually, that when we did that fucking Oompa Loompa set, still came fourth. All right,
so you're a joker.
Fourth is all right, but it was like they came out of nowhere because it was like Peridot and who was the other one that came third in that?
It was Unity, I think.
Was it Unity?
Yeah, I think they did like. I swear, my memory's on point. I feel like they did like a baseball type set.
Oh, mad.
And
this year when Diversity,
I think so.
And they remember Diversity did that finish line thing when they were running towards it in slow motion. But it was from my memory of it, it's like not a lot of us knew Diversity, and it was kind of like the battle scene where you have like similar faces every year, so you know Peridot always going to be like one of the top 3. There might be like another group that has an exceptional set that might bump themselves up, but we kind of know everyone. And then Diversity came and won and beat everyone, and we were like, who the fuck are these guys?
Just come out of the blue.
I don't think
they used to do like jump off and stuff. Like if you watch some of the old clips, like you'll see like obviously like maybe like Ashley and like all of them lot. But like I never really took notice of them like when they were doing until like they
went on BGT and did their thing.
But this was way before. So like they came and won that, and everyone was like, oh shit,
crazy.
Everyone was pissed. I remember. What?
Yeah,
they went to the school down the road from me, like Ashley and Jordan.
Mad.
That's jokes. I always used to see them at like gymnastics in Beckton, actually.
Sick.
So that was cool.
He's done well for himself.
Yeah, facts.
Ashley. But I respect that, because it's like I think a lot of what they've done you can't do without like good common sense, and like they've still got the same members. You don't really hear about any drama. Nobody's left and been like fuck him, you know what I mean? Like so they must be doing something
for real
right to like, or it's just they're getting paid well. But
and like not listening to the haters, because I know obviously they got like a lot of hate from like probably
from BGT.
Exactly. BGT, when they beat like Flawless and stuff, like
the scene was not into that.
Facts. Yo, the scene was going off. But I know they got a lot of hate and stuff for that. But like, they kept doing their thing.
It's consistent.
Pushed through.
And
facts.
To be honest, also I think like rather than them, I think it's partially them just pushing through, but also I think they actually did get better from a dancer's perspective.
No, word, they did.
Like, because I think that was part of the problem is like when we saw them do Britain's Got Talent, we weren't so in love with the dance. And then you start to see stuff more and you're like, oh, this is actual like choreo.
Yeah, they started doing choreo,
not just kind of like GWI type stuff at the beginning. And I think Mechanical was going and teaching them popping for a while, and like I heard stuff like that, and I was like, oh, okay, they're actually like, when I know someone gives a shit about the art, I don't care so much. Or let's say I'm not like annoyed at their decisions. So it's like, if you care about the art, but you go on Britain's Got Talent, or you do whatever you want to do with your and get your money, cool. But as long as you don't even really have to give back, for me, I mean, you just have to care. Like, I'm like, oh, you actually go home and train popping and want to learn from real people. Cool. Go do your thing, man. I'm not angry anymore. It's more like when it was like you just there out of nowhere,
beating
Flawless, who we know that like, and it's obviously like we were all young and stupid, but I think that was like part of it. But so that was GWI.
Good times, man.
You know what I was going to ask you about, actually? I thought of this not too long ago, but it's like I wanted to get your experience and opinion on being like a kid in the scene, because It's actually, there's a few parents who listen to the pod, so thank you guys for listening.
Shout out to you
Dexter's
guys.
dad, Neil, listens. Shout out to him. Lovely lad. I know Slayer's mum listens. There's probably a few others as well. Some of the breakers, I know their parents listen and stuff, because it's like, for us, you know, to even on the Instagram, like to kind of give them like a, you know, what's happening where. It's a bit easier than, you're not on Insta the same way your kid is, right?
Yeah.
Obviously, when you were starting, I don't think even Insta was that big, even if it was around.
No.
Obviously YouTube was, but
it was all Facebook back then.
yeah, that's it, Facebook. Yeah, but like it's so interesting because even like talking to the parents about their experience in the scene and like them finding it hard to, and also like say like Maisie's mum and dad, they like drive her down from up in the world,
I see
like
that,
doing these long 4 or 5 hour drives and like taking her all over the place and like trying to figure out where's the next battle, which again is like, it's not easy if you're not tapped into the people, like to like figure out what's next. And even if it's like, you know, I don't know how old Maisie is, like 11, 12 or something. She's young.
Yeah, she's young.
And
I think,
you've got to also, if I'm thinking of me as a parent, you've also got to consider like, is this an event I should be taking my 11-year-old to?
Yeah.
And it's like, how do you know that? You know, there's obviously ones like the big, like, I don't know, Just Taboo or these type of ones where you're like, all right, it's probably pretty cool and safe. But a lot of, especially when we were battling, a lot of them were in like the back of some club or, and it's like, it might not have been the best environment to take a kid to.
Or the safest place, yeah.
And it's
around
like,
the corner from where just the madness is happening.
and everybody just spills out onto the street and is hanging around afterwards. And even as a parent, you might be like, I don't feel comfortable.
Yeah.
But yeah, how was it from you? Because obviously them, I can speak to the parents, but the kids are still like, Slayer's getting older, but they're still younger. Whereas like you're like a proper grown adult now, but I've known you since you were
age,
little kid. So like, how was it, as much as you can remember in those days? Like, how do you think your parents found it? Your dad was a lot of the one taking you around, right?
Yeah, so I had like a huge amount of support from my dad, and I can't thank him enough for just getting me to where I am today. Just
listen, let me say on that point, I had a huge amount of support from your dad with my filming thing. Like when I started, he was, because he does like filming and videography.
He was filming stuff.
He would give me so much advice. He gave me a lens at one point, like some like bags to hold my stuff. Like he was always like helping me and giving me advice. So I was like, yeah, shout out to your dad. He's a legend. But sorry.
No, all good. Like he just, the amount of support that I got from him, like I said, I just wouldn't be where I am today. In terms of dance, etc., and just in life, that goes to both my parents, but especially my dad when it comes to dance. Like similar thing, he was driving me to Wales and Scotland and came to France with me a few times and like had taken me all over the place. So like without him, you know, taking me to these events and allowing me to experience what I did, like I say, I wouldn't be, you know, where I am in terms of that. So I can fully relate to, I don't know, like the likes of Maisie, the likes of Slayer, etc. I think when I was DJing at Unleash the Groove the other week, I saw Maisie there, and I obviously know like Harry teaches her and that, and I was just like, right, like the parents are literally there, and that was literally me, like, you know, 10 years ago.
It's so funny to think of now, but it's like for anyone that knows Josh just as a grown-up sick battler, it's like you were the Maisie, you were the like Slayer when he first, like you were that person that like always comes to their parents as like the little one that is like, oh.
And do you know what? It didn't get to the point where I was like, right, Dad, I'm older now. Can you let me do my thing? Like, let me just, you know, battle now. You know, it was never really like that. He actually was like, do you still want me to come to these things? Like, do you still want me to, you know, be there? Do you still want me to drive you about, etc.? Or, you know, and I was like, do you know what? I think for me to grow, like, I think maybe I should, you know, start doing these things on my own, just so I start to experience it that way. And he allowed me to do it. So,
do you remember the first one you went to by yourself?
I think it was a Go Hard or Go Home.
Oh, really?
But that was D-Lo.
That what?
Not Go Hard or Go Home. Get Hype.
Get Hype. Right. That was, that was
when that was at like, oh my God, what area? Near like Marylebone. There's that event. It was like a where like Dancers Delight and stuff happens.
Oh yeah, the 229.
That's it.
Whatever it's called.
Yeah. So I went there for the first time on my own. Got the train and stuff and travelled into London. I felt sick, but I felt like doing that, you know, it allowed me to flourish and allowed me to just do my thing. And the sense of ownership in that as well, when you know that you've got to somewhere on your own, and then like you're hanging around with all these people who are like so much older than you. You're like, this is sick. It just allowed me to grow, I guess, and I think it's great. I think it's amazing seeing like all the young dancers and the support that they have from their parents, because
it's crazy.
Like I say, just without my dad, I just wouldn't be where I am. So
and I think it's like, it's actually sick in the sense that like it seems like a legitimate enough thing that the parents are willing to take the kids everywhere. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it could be like, you go to UDO, and like, if you don't know this scene at all, you go to UDO, you see the big hall full of people. You've got like clearly the host there and the organizer there, and you've got the trophies on the table and the signs and the logos. And then it's like, hey, 11-year-old daughter, like, what do you mean you want to go battle some sweaty guys in the back of a club like at midnight with people? You know what I mean? It's just a bit like, it's just a bit random. And then
you gotta be sweaty, bro.
Saying you want to go battle some sweaty guy in the club is
no, but do you know what I mean? It's like, it's like you show your mum a video like, Mum, I want to go here next year, and it's like, no,
just looking at it like, whoa, what is this?
It's just like, it's very easy for that to be like, nah, I'm not involving you in that. But like, we must be doing something right as a scene for it to be like,
I think
they're starting to look more legitimate. It's starting to look more organized, I guess, for people to start coming to these things.
100%. I think what was great was like my dad being there at the start. It was like, he obviously then got to know the likes of yourself, etc., the other UMA lot, organizers, other people who just attended the event. And he was like, do you know what? I do feel comfortable with my son being in this environment. And he was like, I know that these people would look after him, which is why in the end, obviously, he allowed me to do my thing. But it was also, I think it was just also partly the fact that like my dad knew how much I love dance. Yeah. So like, I had to make the conscious decision when I started like doing exams and stuff, when I was still at school. Do I want to dance? Do I want to have a career in, something similar to what my parents are doing, which is the route that I've chosen, but obviously I still keep intact. I still dance, I still DJ, etc. I'm still tapping into the scene in some way. But like when I made that decision, it was like, it was difficult for me because I don't know, like I was at a period in my life where it was dance and that was it. There was nothing else to it. Yeah. Like I love football. Those of you who know, like I love football as well, but it's like dance was it. And even when I played at the football club in my local, in my area, I chose dance over football. And I had a lot of like people at school at that time go like, what are you doing? But it was like, I know like I'm pretty good at it. So like, I want to see where I can actually go with it and like take it. And at that time, like I must have been like 13 or 14. And yeah, from there, it was just like falling in love with dance and
and so, I guess with, what was I going to ask you? Like traveling around being that young is like, because obviously your dad was like, getting to know people. Yeah. But like, how did you find the relationship with the people that you met in the scene? Like, because I don't know, from my perspective, it seems, I might be wrong. Go on. I might be completely wrong.
Yeah, go on.
But I feel like no matter what the kind of like issues are between the adults in the scene, and there's always a bit like, this person or blah, blah, whatever the ongoing stuff is with all of us. Whenever there's like a kid in the scene, I feel like everyone's always like, it doesn't, like even if I hated Harry, but like if he brought Maisie down, I'd be nice to her. Do you know what I mean? I don't know. I just feel like it's like the kids thing is always don't involve the kids in that shit. Like they don't know, or like if their parents are there, it's like, I see it tends to be like my perception is that everybody's always nice to the parents, and it's like it's like, but that's one of their parents, like be nice to him even if you hate it, all of these people, but be nice to the parent of the kid. You know what I mean? Like but did you find that, or was there like moments where you're like, this is a bit,
and like, did you have any beef with any of the other youngers?
Me?
That's like when you were young, like I don't know. Was there any like young beef going on?
Young beef. It's a good way to put it.
He stole my sweets. I
There definitely had to have been.
Wow.
Stole my sweets. I don't know what they're beefing about these days.
Yeah. Do you know what? Not really. I never really had beef with anyone. It was cool, like, if at the time, like, I don't know if we're going to go for when I first started battling, it was like the UMA boys. It would never be that I had beef with them, but it'd be tense when we did battle, because it was like I wanted to beat them because at the time they were the best youngsters in the scene. And then
that's my old crew.
Yeah, that's
yeah,
come on. So shout out
UMA.
And I was in it for a little bit.
Yeah, you were.
I was.
Jenny, she just left. Otherwise, she would be laughing. She makes fun of me so much about it. She's like, every time I like talk about someone in the scene from back in the day, and she'll be like,
they in UMA?
Oh, yeah, were they in UMA as well? Like,
oh, damn one.
Because there was a point when I was like, I had the idea of like, okay, I'm gonna try and like build up, but I had no fucking idea what I was doing. So it ended up being like there was like people that we were friends with, like Josh and people like that. But then I just started kind of talking to people and being like, oh, do you know who for like a day said they were in UMA for one battle?
Someone said it just for a day.
No, as in like she entered one battle under UMA and then never again. Just didn't. We didn't keep in contact. The choreographer Diana, what's her name?
Diana Matos.
Yeah.
Oh, swear. Yo, that's crazy.
She entered the battle as
that's crazy.
UMA. Yeah.
Because like, she was here for a bit, and she even did like Vice and stuff like the first time we did it. And all
it might have been similar time because we knew her from when
she was about, man.
From Marcio.
We knew her before she was famous.
Yeah.
She's always been famous.
But yeah, so that was the whole thing with people being in UA. But we did have a pretty strong crew at one point.
It was very, very strong.
But yeah, I hear you. Like, there's like tense battle stuff.
Yeah, it was never beef. But don't get me wrong, there was probably instances I can't think off the top of my head when like I was at a battle and then I'd like just look to the side and someone's like beefing with someone. But
yeah,
it would never
As
be
always.
to like the extent of like it being hostile and then everyone in the room being like, "Yo, this needs to cut out." Like,
also,
let's stop the
I
event.
think that you guys have the benefit of you for the most part have the benefit. Let's say it like that you have the adults, because like I remember so many times with Dom, with Lewis, with Sheldon, where I would tell them like, shut the fuck up and sit down. Like,
really?
Oh, so many. Because like, or they would say stuff, or they would like put stuff up on Facebook and I'd be like, take it down. We're not doing that shit. Like,
but that's good though. To have like a mentor, mentor-ish. Like,
and even now they bring it up and they like, oh my God, I can't believe I did that. And I'm like, that's why. Because at the time they would be like, oh, why are you always like, you know? But now they're like, oh yeah, that was really dumb. And I'm like, yeah, it was.
Yeah, for real, yeah.
But like, not like in a way of like them wanting to beef people, but like just stuff that you know would like stir up an argument, or like, it's just like, yo, stop it. Like, if you want to beat that person, go and beat them. Don't, you know, all that
causing havoc just unnecessarily.
Exactly. And I feel like, you know, all kids have that tendency, especially when you're in a competitive thing.
For sure.
So I feel like even with you guys, with Kazar or like any of the younger guys, you do have the benefit of having adults to kind of, you know what I mean? Like they're not going to let, like that's kind of the problem with adults is like, we don't have anyone to tell us to shut up. So people just mouth off and like get into arguments, but they don't, I mean, I have it in the sense, and probably you do as well, but like in the sense of having a support system. So now if I do something stupid online or in a battle, I would have friends that would be like, yo, Luke, relax. Doing, but some people don't have that, and then they just are let loose in the world.
Yo, you need those friends, you know.
Yeah,
honestly,
you
need those.
That just goes. I'm gonna do a quick shout out to like my first ever mentor in terms of like battling and freestyle. But Dwayne, talent, White, Mr. White.
Yeah, he had you.
Even same for me as well. Like talent, like. From Team Beast Mode, man was obviously teaching me a lot, and just showing me what I'm going with, like the battles and freestyles and stuff. So yeah, man, shout out Dwayne for real.
I think you need that, man. You really need like those people around you to tell you.
It's just good to have like an environment like that. I think like if you're, I don't know, there's certain instances and cases where I've been in environments where it's not like that, and I'm like, you sort of take the good things for granted. You know, and to, like it's even me now, especially like talking 2 hours a week. But it's like it's so funny. But you know, Max Silk Boogie. What did he? Oh, I put something up on Insta from. I put a thread up. I can't remember what I said. It was something, and he literally he just replied to the story going, "That's bollocks." And I was like, "What do you mean?" And then he explained like what he was like, "No, that's not true. This." And I was like, "Okay, but I meant it like this." And he's like, "Oh yeah, I guess I still think it's bollocks though." But it's like, for me, it's like I love having that type of person around me, because it's like I can tell when people. This is kind of a slight tangent, but like
with people's opinions or stuff, sometimes people will like go off online or like, I don't know, they'll have these opinions and I'm like, you're so passionate about this opinion, but you haven't tested it out.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like any opinion I have, sometimes I say things completely fresh on the pod, but like 90% of the time, anything I say here or in my personal life or whatever, I've had a conversation with Kieran or Lee or whoever.
The first time you've done it,
and they've said, no, you're wrong because of this. And I've got, interesting. Okay, cool. So then like by the time I actually say, no, this is my opinion, I've like tested it a little bit. Whereas I think,
and it's also the people who like, they do that, they go off online and then someone does the whole like, oh, that's a bunch of shit. But like they can't even see the other side of it.
Right,
like they're not given space for any type of like other opinion or like for someone to disagree as well.
Yes.
And to like listen to like why they disagree. They're just so in their own like, no, I'm right, shut the fuck up. It's just like, what's the point of even like putting it online, bro?
Exactly. Yeah. And that's the thing I think is like, if you don't have those people in your life and if you don't listen to them when they say it,
exactly.
It's like, and I'm not saying don't debate with them, don't argue or whatever, but like having the people that like will be like, oh yeah, fuck this guy, and then they message you like, yo, what are you doing? Like, relax. Or like, do you know what I mean? Or like, oh, I'm the best DJ in the world, and then Josh messages you like, bro, relax. Like, you know what I mean? Wow. It's just like, or whatever it is. It's like having those people that kind of bring you down to the earth. It's like, I don't know. I feel like it makes me a bit more comfortable, like knowing that I'm saying reasonable things.
Yeah.
You know, 'cause I'm like,
same.
I'm gonna say, like, it happens all the time on the pod. Like I'll say something, and then people, and I'm so glad that people feel like they can say that to me, because I would hate if it was people just,
they'll be like scared or something, or
or just like, well, I didn't even bother wanting to have the conversation with me. That would make me feel sad. But it's like, I've had it I had it with when I was talking about hip hop, and like, I don't know if we spoke about that, but like me being like, oh, hip hop has changed and I don't like the way. And then like Kieran and Brooke both like within the next week were both like message me. And then I saw Brooke and Kieran message me just like, what are you talking about, bro? They're like, you're talking shit. And I was like,
when you were like going off of,
I was just saying like, I was just saying like,
I think I remember this.
There's not so much like bounce in the hip hop anymore, and I don't like the way.
Bored and shit.
Yeah, and then they were like, you're just looking at the wrong people. They were like,
that's true though.
And Kieran sent me a whole list of people. He was like, what about all of these people? And I was like, you might have a point.
Yeah.
But that's what
that's the point.
You're going to look at that, aren't you? There's always going to be that. It's going to be in the back of your head. Like if you see that people aren't doing like what it's meant to be, then they're always going to stand out to the people who, you know. Yeah,
and it depends where you're looking, like, especially if, you know, and this is, again, it's something that, you know, you don't have unless people tell you, but it's like, if I'm just in a negative space, I'm always going to look at the people that like fuel that negativity. Like if I'm pissed off about hip hop or my dance, or it's like some insecurities with me, of course I'm going to look at this, and I think this happens to a lot of people, but like you're going to look at the scene and be like, oh, I don't like this scene, I don't like this style. And it's like, but then when I'm feeling happy and I'm good, I'm like, wow, everyone's amazing. Like I'm so lucky to see these amazing artists, and then I'm in a bad mood the next day and I'm like, everyone's fucking shit.
Do you know what? I'm just saying this on just the level of like day-to-day life. I feel like everybody just does that day to day. You always focus on the negatives and like not the positives that happen around
like
you.
London is either the worst city in the world or the best city in the world, depending on the day.
Trust me.
Do you know what I mean? It's like you could find so many reasons to be angry at this city or in love with it. But but anyway, all that to say is that you need those people. But yeah, I think we don't have that, and maybe that's why you guys had less beef, because you had, as just being kids, you come with a support system. You know what I mean? You have parents, you have adults, people training you.
I felt like at the time as well, it was nice, because like, and I see it now just with like the new gen, like the current people who are doing their thing. It's like everyone is supportive of each other, like who is that age. So it's like at the time when, you know, we were doing our thing, and then like, I know like Evian, when he came into the scene and started wanting to battle more, we were all supportive of each other. Then when it was Future, the group was quite young, again, supportive of each other. It's just nice to see that. I think if you guys are of an age, like a similar age, and you have that support for each other, then it's amazing. It's really good.
Yeah. I don't know if he's back, but I saw Evian do a couple of things recently.
Yeah,
he did that trippy dance battle.
Oh yeah, I saw this. Yeah.
And then he judged at that battle I was at.
Yeah.
I don't know if that means he's back or
he's in Asia at the moment, I think.
Is he?
Or he's just come back. Yeah, I don't think he was there for like dancing. A long period. Yeah.
Oh, mad.
Teaching and stuff. So
sick.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
I don't think, I'm not going to speak on his behalf.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm not going to put anything out there. I just don't think we'll see him anytime soon in the UK. But you know, I hope that he proves me wrong if I say that. But like I say, I'm not speaking on his behalf. I don't want to get anyone's hopes up. So you know.
Yeah, I mean, there is something. What's your thoughts on like battling here versus battling abroad? Because I know some
before
people.
I get to that, I wanted to add on to what we were talking before, and I just think like before, like groups was a thing, so that whole you had kind of like a support system, whereas like now like crews, we don't have much crews or groups in the UK. Like, so I know like a lot of the younger generation, like they all kind of know each other, so like there is a lot of support. But I said this in like one of my classes like time ago, like you need to find those people who are on the same like kind of like mental level that you want to train at, and like train with those people to like, if you really want to grow. Otherwise you're just gonna be like, you know, just out here by yourself, or like you might feel hella lonely when you're at battles and not have people 100%. To like be there with, or you know, you might know people, but it's not the same when you like go there with like your people, like your crew. And
they don't even have to be like when we started UMA, it was like there was a couple of people in there who barely even danced. Like they would just come like.
It doesn't need to be like, you know, like
the top level. But it's also like, it's more about, rather than like level of dance, it's also just about like your people that you're, because it's like, let's say there's people that maybe I would train with who aren't of the sickest level, but they have a good mind. They know when they see something good, they can support me. So it's like, that's
and it's like a safe space to try new things, and like that's how you're gonna grow in my eyes. Like.
And even, you know, with the younger gen, I don't know, I'm just speaking out of my ass a little bit here, but like as I do every pod, but I don't know if this is the case, but I feel like it could be a thing where like UPG are like the big dominant crew. And I wonder if a lot of the younger kids like kind of secretly want to be in UPG.
Yeah.
I mean, if I was young,
bro, if I was there, if I was there,
yo, you man, I beg you.
But this is the thing also, where it's like, I wonder if that like stops them from doing their own thing because they're waiting for that call. Whereas it's like, maybe
you gotta do your own thing as well.
Maybe build your thing, because it's like, there's two ways to look at it. Like, let's say that's the mentality. You could say, right, they're the dominant crew, I want to be in it. Or you could say they're the dominant crew, let's make our own thing and fuck them up.
Smoke them, that's what I would be on.
That's a good approach as well. That's a good approach.
That's like, I feel like, say with Future Formalities back in the day, or like or like Firehouse, or like any of these crews that have kind of been dominant. I feel like Monsters is a great example for the Firehouse. I think Firehouse was a little bit before Monsters, maybe, I want to say. And I feel like
I feel like
it would have been before, and then I feel like Monsters was sick because
like publicly
it just came out like, oh, we're all so sick. And it's like, not everyone trying to be in Firehouse. It's like, no, we're going to do our own thing over here.
You're right, bro.
And then that was sick. So then it started to, and I feel like, you know, I feel like I said this before, but I feel like the house scene kind of needs that, because it's like, I feel like, and
why? Because in the house are like,
it's just like,
it's just in the house.
Like and I feel like the thing is, again, I'm looking at this from a hip hop and popping perspective. House may be completely different, and it's like, maybe it's their own thing and they love hugging each other and all that, right? So that hugging each other in the club,
that's all they do.
But like, and it may be not like, this might not spark the scene the same way it would in hip hop, but I feel like you've got in the house, right? If you had like two more crews who were like solid like them, it doesn't even have to be level wise, just like tight knit, and they were trying to gun for in the house, that would be sick, because it's like, then I want to watch the house battle, because I'm like, oh, is anyone going to take out? Like right now with the hip hop thing, I kind of see, like every time I go to a battle, I'm kind of like, is someone going to beat Kane? Is someone going to beat Carl? Like these people who are dominant, are they going to get beat? Because that's what's exciting, you know? And popping, it's like every fucking Just a Boo would be like, can someone beat Brooke and Dixon? Because I want to see it. It's like,
them two were winning like crazy.
But it's like, it's kind of the underdog thing. It's like, I know that they're dope, and I want to see them dance, but I also want to see someone good enough to beat them. And I'm like excited. I'm like, could someone take them this year?
I mean, you know, when like Chase came about and started bodying everyone, like, yo, that was good times. That was
mad exciting, man. Because like, there's some fresh people in the scene that are like, oh shit, they're gonna shake stuff up. It's not the same people winning or whatever. So like, I feel like sometimes you need that like other crew to be the like underdogs, the bad guys, you know, like two of my favorite dancers were like Pepito and Jadawi. And when like Just Taboo used to happen, like way back in the day, it was like they weren't the like favorites. It was like Salah, Iron Mike, Jay Smooth, those type of people. But like they would always like come second to them. But I was always like, come on this year.
You can
I
do
don't
it,
know why I'm rooting for them. Yeah. But yeah, so let's start a crew.
Yo, house crew.
Wow. Let's start a house
Yo,
crew.
I'm trying to start a
And
house
call out
crew,
in the
bro.
house.
Yup.
Wow.
That would be, we would get smoked.
Yeah, we would,
Bro.
We would.
Bro.
Imagine Frankie would be like doing his taxes while he battled us. Like, he wouldn't even.
Wow.
He'd just have his laptop there. He'd be like having a Zoom meeting and be like, hold on, I just got to do one quick round.
Wow. All I've got to say to that is wow.
Unless you two are better at house than I think you are.
Yeah,
I definitely am not.
Nah.
I'm gonna go train with Jevon for like
Yeah.
6
Oh, yeah.
months.
Let me go to France or something.
No,
Yeah.
Facts.
we got to do like you got served and convince Jev to be on our team.
Yeah. Oh, yo, you know, you're from South, bro.
Yeah, he lives around the corner.
Yeah, facts.
Should we have a look at some of these topics that people have sent in?
For sure.
Because I feel like there's some conversational ones here. So we asked on the Instagram, which I haven't done for a while actually, if people had any topics or questions for us, i.e. you guys. So here are the ones that we had. Is this all of them? Yeah, I think so. Okay, so I'll just say them and then you guys throw your thoughts in.
Cool.
First one, topic, Freestyle Friday being back.
Amazing.
Have you guys been?
I DJ'd at the one recently.
How was it? Tell us.
It was really good like atmosphere there. I think it was quite surreal actually, going back to Studio Free Arts and being in that place when I want to say like 4 or 5 years ago, that was like my stomping ground to train every Wednesday.
Oh, true, yeah.
At the lab. And to actually go back there, it was different because they've refurbed it, but it's really nice like what they've done with
How
the
is
place.
it? Does it look nice?
Yeah, it's nice.
Sick.
Really, really good. But yeah, just a really good like environment there. Everybody again supportive of each other and pushing each other. So it was nice to see that. So
What's
yeah,
the
I'm happy it's
setup
back.
of the event now? Like, do they have some sort of concept or something?
No. So I mean,
What was the
shout
thing with
out
Jordan?
to what do you mean?
Didn't he play? Like, wasn't there a guy playing saxophone? Or something?
Yeah,
Tyrone.
so Charlene Carter, she is now her baby. So
Right.
she's now doing Freestyle Friday and not Jade anymore.
Ah, got you.
Because she does like all the production stuff and everything at Studio Free Arts.
Yeah.
Obviously that was the first one back and she was like, I'm just going to try and add a little twist to it. And
got ya.
obviously there was someone there who was playing the saxophone, had them involved. And then when I was there, Friday just gone, she was just basically saying how it'd be great to have like, I don't know, like a live band involved, just to add something to it. And then like, sort of like, you know, the event that I DJ'd at Create in Birmingham.
Yeah, Marceau's.
Similar to that Marceau's event. That was so sick when like, if you don't know already, you go, if you get through to like top 8 or top 16, I think like one round is like you pick out of a hat like 2 things, and it might be say like, I don't know, like the drums and then the DJ or like the vocalist or the pianist or like the guitarist, and you pick out 2 things and they have to match together to, you know, create a song for you to dance to.
Yeah.
So yeah, going back to Freestyle Friday, I think it's really good that it's back. It's nice.
Yeah.
Like it's been so long. So yeah, it's good to see it.
Sick. I do want to go and check it out actually. Every time I like put in my diary that I'm going to go enter a battle, something else comes up and I'm like, for fuck's sake. Or like,
Life, bro.
which is good actually. I don't want to complain, but like, or like they'll hit me up and be like, actually, can you film for us? And I'm like, yeah.
Yeah.
It's like,
them
I
ones.
will, but I was going to enter. Like the next gen clash, I was actually going to enter it. And then I ended up live streaming and I was like, well, that's probably more important
That's
at this
that
point. It's more important than me showing up and getting smoked in the top 16. I think I'll contribute more with my camera. Okay, Harry says, or anonymous person says,
Wow, just gave it away.
yeah, battle dancers getting their chance in the commercial industry. Sheldon, what do you think, seeing as you are a battle dancer who is getting a chance in an industry
A chance.
which can be considered commercial?
I mean, I've had many chances.
Ooh, talk to him.
Yeah, man.
What does he mean though?
I don't know exactly what that means,
just
getting
like-
their chance, but like maybe if you can talk about the transit, because I feel like also like I say you're a battle dancer, but you were a choreo head before you were a battle dancer. I feel
Yeah.
like. But I feel like what you do now in terms of your choreo and your movement direction and all the artistic stuff you do is got to be like heavily influenced by the battle stuff that you've done.
Yeah, so like, I mean, I feel like it's not even about battling. It's just about like freestyle in general. Like my freestyling or just like training freestyle has heavily like, just like, you know, upgraded my choreo and just like my creativity within like movement and stuff anyway. And like I feel like now, especially in the like commercial industry, or just like maybe like to do jobs or whatever, they want more freestylers and like they want more like individual people who can do their own thing as well as choreo. So like if there is any like battlers or freestylers who want to do more commercial stuff, just go and learn some choreo. Like if you can pick up some choreo, you've already got a one up on like basically a lot of, sorry to like, you know, chat shit about commercial dancers, but like you've got a one up on a lot of dancers who only do choreo.
I agree
because
with that,
like they can't freestyle as well as obviously like the battle dancers. So like if you want to do commercial
like
stuff,
the flip side of that is kind of like, I know people that are really good freestylers that want to get more jobs and work as a dancer,
Right.
and it's like they almost are like, oh, where can I get jobs? And I'm like, without being able to pick up choreo, you kind of can't, because you might be amazing, but if you can't, like, even if it's like freestyle here and then walk over there for 2/8, reach there by
you have to know,
you have to know how to count music, how to the staging, like transitions. Like if you can't transition across the stage without bumping into people, it's like a really minimal thing, but it's like,
awareness like that, it's true.
And it's like if you understand like the traffic of what's happening on stage, you have to like know, all right, I'm going from side to side. There's 3 people coming across. One guy's going to go do a flip and then come on the 7/8. Like I need to know where I need to go to not bump into people, which if you've performed is not that crazy of a skill. But if you've only ever battled, you've never done that. And as soon as you get on a set, they're going to ask you to do that. Like they're going to say, you know, the lead might be doing something or saying something and you have to dance in the background. But it's like all of these things, it's like you can really up your chances of getting stuff just by being able to pick up choreo. Because like you said, it's like most of these people are shit hot at choreo, but then when it comes to freestyle, they're just putting their leg up in the air and doing a backflip and that's it.
Or doing a pirouette or something.
Exactly. So if you can do a mad freestyle and keep up with the choreo, you don't even have to be better than them. You just have to keep up with them, you know.
Because more time they will give you that moment to shine, your special moment or whatever, to do your freestyle because you've got a special skill. Than like putting you in the back just to be a filler or something like that.
Yeah, they're kind of, I think they give you a bit more, how do you call that? Like they'll give you a bit more leeway to not be the best at Like they'll be like, all right, we'll put you in the bag, you only do this section, but then in this section come out and kill it. But it's like you can't only walk out just for that bit. Maybe on like a music video or something if they...
it depends on the job, obviously.
I feel like more recently though, like a lot of freestyle dancers are getting those opportunities. I feel like it's been happening recently. I don't want to like
even for like solo stuff, like it's just them. Like I know Brooke's done a lot of like, you know, just
Adverts,
him on the screen.
Stuff.
But
Mr. EE.
But
trust.
They're battlers who weren't battlers to begin with.
True.
Do you know what I mean?
They were in
Like,
groups like
there's way less people these days.
They were able to do choreo when they were
I mean, Brooke can fucking pick up choreo.
Bro,
like
so sick,
wildly good. Like so, and so can Nick. Like Nick's old school Bird Gang. Did you know that?
Swear.
Marvel was like in the original Bird Gang.
That's crazy.
I don't know for how long, but like him and Swarf.
I know about Swarf.
But like they can do choreo really well. So then it's like, and it's almost like. I guess like a side skill for them, you know what I mean?
It's just the experience, I think.
It's just experience. You've done so many shows and performances.
And again, from being in the groups as well, like you learn the choreo and you learn how to be in positions and like counting and stuff while you're dancing and all of that stuff. Exactly. If you battle and don't do any of that, go and do that because you need that shit, man.
Yeah, for sure. Agreed. More visuals or more performance opportunities?
Ooh.
So I guess, should we be putting more of a, like if you're making a routine or something, should you be making more videos to put on Insta, or should there be more performance opportunities
for you to get yourself out there in that way?
To do it live, I guess. As a videographer, I'm going to say visual. No, I'm joking. Hire me.
I think in this, like, I guess in the time that we're in now, it's about visuals. Like it's about the content. It's about all of that stuff. I want shows and stuff to come back. But I want them to come back in like an interesting way where it's like stuff like Collabo again. And like these type of things. And even like choreo masters, like we said before. And all of that. Like I want creative stuff, not just like do a showcase and like just put your best 5-minute piece on the stage.
Yeah.
That's kind of dry for me.
Yeah, I think it would be good to see. I don't mind it when it's one of a few different things. You know what I mean? Like when the 5-minute piece showcases are one of multiple different types of shows.
Yeah, that's cool.
Then I don't mind it. But when it's the only thing, it's like I think we need other stuff as well.
Facts.
And like,
and somehow we need to just be paying performers or like the groups or something. There needs to be some sort of like funding or a budget for that.
Yeah.
Because like we're paying for studio, we're paying for like, you know, travel, all of that stuff to get to the show and prepare for the show. There needs to be support for that as well. Yeah,
I think like there's a lot of funding opportunities these days. Like I think it's possible for
I think so as well.
If you want to run a show, you know, or a battle or whatever, it's very possible to go look into funding. It doesn't have to be big funding. It doesn't have to be like $100,000.
Oh yeah, of course.
Like you can put on a, you know, decent event for a couple of grand.
Yeah.
You just have to put the money in the right place or whatever. Yeah, man. But or just I think my definitive answer, I'm going to say more performance opportunities, because I think there's a lot of visuals happening already. Everybody, this is what drives me crazy as a videographer. I shouldn't say this, but the insanity that you can create with a phone, especially if you've got like iPhone or like the latest, like the whatever this is, 23 Ultra, is like you can film in 4K really well. It's like the only thing you're paying for with a videographer is like the knowledge. Yeah. And people think they're paying for the camera, and then you do something sick and then they go, wow, this camera's sick. And it's like, not really. Like I could do that, or I just did on your phone. Yeah. But it's just that you don't know what I'm doing to make it happen. Yeah. So it's like, I think people, if you just did a little bit of research on YouTube, and there are people like this, like there's some of the TikTokers and Instagram people, I'm like, you fucking know what, you might not even own a camera, but you know what you're doing. Like they understand filming, they understand editing, they understand all the shit. So it's like visuals, I think is there. I think there's something about, like, as a choreographer, you need to put your stuff on stage. Yeah. Like you have to see what it looks like. You have to see how an audience reacts. Like it's similar, I guess, maybe to something like stand-up comedy, where it's like, you might have good jokes, but if they don't bang in front of an audience, it doesn't work. And you might think at home your routines are banging, but put them on stage or online. Exactly. You might be on TikTok and whatever, but put it on stage and then you're going to be like, I'm kind of shit. And it's like, you need time to like do it.
Nah, but facts though, just because your little friends are slapping like and commenting fire emojis doesn't mean your shit's lit, bro.
It's like even, it's like, there's so many things that I'm like, you know, it's with everything. It's like
shots. I don't care.
No, but it's true. And it's like, even with like filming, with dance, there's all these things that like you don't know until you know. Yeah. So like, and this is stuff that we've done a million times, but it's like, have you ever rehearsed in a smaller space than the stage is going to be?
All
or
the time.
Or a bigger space than the stage is going to be. And you have to take an existing piece as a choreographer and as an individual dancer, and you have to expand it. So the space that you have to work on like ratios and scales. So you're like, right, I was 1, let's say, meter apart from you, but now we're on Sadler's stage. That translates to 3 meters, which means my transition is going to be longer. Like, so it's like, there's so many times we rehearsed Vice in like Maryland and then performed it on Sadler's. Bro. So it's like, we have to, and
remember the part we have to get to the table. Like after the smoking section, and then we have to get to the table to do the combo. Ducking, dusting, bro.
In like slow motion.
In slow motion.
And the burners on.
Like,
in slow motion.
Our top half was like slow motion, and our feet were doing like. But it's really that, because it's like when you rehearse it, we were just literally doing like 2 slow motion walks, and we're at the table. You get on Sadler's and you're like, 1.
Yo, you know the post.
You're like flying across the stage. But the thing is, I don't think we really ever practiced that in rehearsal, or like we were ever really told, because we were all professionals, and it's like,
you got
this is a bigger stage. And we, like, when we do a tech, when Quaylee's up there doing the lighting and whatever, we are subconsciously taking stock of the stage. So when we do a run, we're going, oh yeah, that's a bit bigger. Oh, okay, that's a bit longer. All right, what count do I actually have to leave on? And it's like all of these things that you don't know until you get on a stage. So you might think you're a great choreographer and then someone goes, oh, choreograph here, or do a site specific piece. If I tell you like choreograph this routine, oh, now take that routine that you've choreographed and do it around this monument. I know that you'd be able to do that, but it's like someone might be like, well, what do you mean? I just know how to do it in lines. And it's, you know what I mean? And it's like,
you can only face forward and do it.
Exactly. Yeah. And it's like, oh, now the audience is going to be 360 and you're like, oh, but
what do you mean by 360?
I've choreographed it straight. Yeah, exactly. So I think
what's 360?
these are the type of things that it's like, you know, unfortunately it's a wrong time to find out when you're actually on a job or in a big show. But if you can do these little, that's what we figured out, like
smaller,
GWI
the smaller showcases,
and all these like little like Collabo and stuff. There's so many things that we did on stage, I'm sure, that were crap, but we did it, looked at them and went, now I see why that doesn't work on stage. Cool, got it. Like, or why something, an idea I had does work on stage. And then you're like, all right, now I know. And, you know, I think, that's the whole thing of experience. But
man,
that's why I think we need more like little performance.
Yeah, I agree. That's why I think even just with like smaller battles, so like even with Freestyle Friday, I feel like that's great it's back, because like we definitely need just more consistent like smaller events. It doesn't need to be big events all the time. Like it's more, for me, it's more about like training and the community. And everyone just like kind of growing, then like, oh, like, you know, the cash prize is like £500.
Yeah, and I wouldn't, if you're like a new dancer, I might be wrong and tell me if you disagree, but it's like, let's say you haven't been battling that long, like less than a year or whatever, I wouldn't even bother trying to enter something like Summer Dance or any, because people talk about like, oh, I'm going to go for the experience and stuff. And it's like, you're just doing a prelim. Like maybe if you're not used to dancing in front of big crowds, but it's like, you're going to get way more battle experience at Freestyle Friday than you are going across the world for a huge battle. Unless you're Evian and you're like, all right, or you're these people who go and you're like, I might have a chance to get through. I don't think the experience you're going to gain from these huge international battles, maybe to see it, like
to be in
to
that,
be like, oh, this is what
yourself in what you see in like on YouTube, and actually being on that in that space.
But actual battle experience,
you're not
facing against, and like going to Freestyle Friday, you're like, right, this is what it feels like to dance while someone's looking at me, is in my face. This is what it feels like to try that move that I've been trying at home and it doesn't work, and I'm like, why didn't it work? Oh, I slipped a little bit or whatever. But you can do all that at Freestyle Friday or some of the smaller battles. You can't. Like by the time, if you just keep going Summer Dance, by the time you actually get good enough to get through, you'll have no experience. So you actually won't get through, you know what I mean?
Or you'll get through and then you'll burn out after your first round.
Oh yeah, like, you'll have like one good round.
Exactly. That's it. After that, it's lock off.
Dead.
Yeah, or you'll get through and then you'll, you know, because it's like even with small ones, it's like you'll get the experience of battling someone that you look up to, even.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
That's
it's
what
like,
I think. Man.
You don't want to battle like your idol first round at Summer Dance, and that's like the third battle you've ever done, and then you shit yourself because you're like,
and then you get smoked, and you're just like, and then your pride's just like in the car, like, man.
All right, this is one purely for you two, and I'm gonna let you guys talk about it. DJs doing their music research for battles.
I'll let you go first, Chaldon.
What? All right, let me add some parameters to this.
Yeah, go on.
So DJs doing their music research for battles.
Can I ask who asked it?
Yeah, I don't know if they
know them. Would I not? Or
yeah, you do.
Yeah, cool.
Saf.
Saf.
Yo, you're right. You're right. Yeah, it's South.
Okay, so what does it mean? So for people that don't DJ or don't know what it means, like what does doing music research mean for a DJ? Why is that important? And what is the right way to do it? Wrong way to do it? What should people be doing? And how can we hear if they're not doing it? These are the type of thoughts I would say. So like,
I feel like in a whole, or just like in general, like if you're a DJ and you're not basically like, what's the question again? Like doing research. So basically, if you're not doing research or like basically trying to find new tracks to play, especially if you're booking like, you know, DJ jobs on a regular, where even if it's a party or like battle or whatever, me personally, if you're not looking for new tracks, then you're washed out. You're dead. Like, what are you doing, bro? Like, you can't be rinsing the same tracks for like 2-3 years. And like, yes, I know, especially in like hip hop or whatever, like
there's gonna be certain tracks which are gonna
exactly.
stay, but it's not
if they're bangers, then cool. Like, but obviously give it some space. Like I hate rinsing tracks. Like, you know, like if I hear 2x2 again in a track in like I don't even want to. Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
If I hear that like again and again and again, like after a while, I'm just gonna be like, oh, this song like is dead.
Yeah,
I got that.
I love that song.
What's the Sean Price song?
Oh yeah.
I feel like that about that song.
That and
I've heard it way too many times.
That Twami song.
Yeah, you know exactly what I was
But
talking
you
about.
know what? That tune bangs though.
Bro,
Every time
it
it's on
slaps.
shuffle,
It slaps.
like it's Twami. It's called like South. I swear it's called like
I
South.
don't know if you'll find it on
Harrington or something
YouTube,
like
but
Oh, it's not on YouTube.
you'd
No,
recognize it.
SoundCloud. I'll
You'd
show it to you
recognize
later.
It's yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, even with that track, like that track slaps. Like even when it comes on my like shuffle on SoundCloud or whatever, I'm just like raw. Like every time.
It hits
but like
different,
I'm
yeah.
not gonna play it every time in a battle though.
But yeah,
like,
it's knowing when to play it.
You said like keep refreshing your tracks and stuff. Like how frequently should you be?
So
bringing
like
in new
for me, I
tracks?
feel like I've got enough tracks to like basically do a battle and not even dent my library in like hip hop. So I've got bare tracks I could have still played, and then the next battle I'm gonna try and play the tracks I didn't play, and obviously some of the good ones. So I'm just doing like a rotation of
Put
stuff.
it this way, like in your library, both of you, how many battles in a row could you do before you had to repeat a song? Good songs.
Oh, that's a good one. Maybe like 2 or
fine.
3, maybe.
Okay.
It depends on obviously how big the prelims
Sure, of
is and
course,
blah
yeah.
blah. But I think like
that's
a
what I was
good
thinking. I
Let's say
think
two
just battles, no prelim, just battles.
Oh, then
Like top
like a
16
good.
upwards.
Oh, then a good like 3-4 battles I could.
Oh, mad, okay.
Yeah,
I
man.
can't lie. I was gonna go 10 plus.
Oh man.
Oh, swear.
Yeah,
Just
that's not
got
to
them
be like
libraries.
I hear you.
yeah.
I feel like I'm just a bit like, oh, it's good, but I don't wanna.
Yeah,
Like you're
It's not
talking
like
cream of the
yeah,
crop
yeah.
songs.
Like I'm thinking like my top like
yeah.
bangers and stuff. But yeah, you're right in terms
Yeah.
of
Until my playlist like runs out.
Yeah,
Then I brought
for
like if I
days.
want to use, I can't remember how many tracks I've got for like say hip hop, but it's like I think I've got like over like 1,500 songs for hip hop.
Yeah, I've got
So it's
that,
like
yeah.
I could just go for days if I wanted to in terms of playing this stuff. But it's like Chaldon said, you got to know like what tracks are good enough to play at a battle.
Yeah,
but
man.
like when's the right moment to play a certain type
read
of track
the room
as well.
as well. Like,
Read the room. There's no point just playing a track just for the sake of it because you heard it.
Like it.
Yeah, because you like it, or like because you heard it at a battle in France and you think, yeah, everyone in the UK is gonna fucking love it as well, because that's just not the vibe. And this is no disrespect to like the French DJs or like music scene over there, but like I don't really like the music in France that's being played at the moment.
Yeah,
Just
not all
because
the
it's
time.
all
Yeah.
samey. Like
it is.
there's some tracks where I do like hear it and I'm like, oh my God, what is this? Like I need this. But then like 9 times out of 10 when I do my research where it's like I'm looking at stuff, it's like it's all just the same.
Yeah.
Like
Would you say that watching battles to do your music research is a bad idea?
I would say yes, and I would also say no.
Okay.
So that's the reason why I let you go first. Is just I wanted to hear like how you went about things and stuff.
yeah.
But
So you could steal you right
Nah.
now.
Yeah, you joker.
no, but I'll put it out there for everyone. Like whenever I do my research, it's like 2-3 weeks before the event, I try prep myself. So it's like I will be on SoundCloud every evening until silly o'clock, going down different
Yeah,
loopholes
trust,
of
yeah.
like going
Yeah.
on someone's following, going
Yeah.
on who they follow, what tracks they like.
Yo, the rabbit hole is crazy, bro.
You can be
Yeah.
on there for
Trust me.
donkeys, and that's how I do my shit. So like I might have like stuck my foot in it there a little bit, but like 2-3 weeks before a battle, if you're looking for good tracks, then go on my likes on SoundCloud because it's gonna be on there.
Trust me.
But it's like that's how I do it. I will prep myself for each event.
Yeah, same.
and I try not to always play the same songs at the same event because it's like I always want to be new. I always want to be fresh. Like there's got to be new stuff that's being played. Like I don't want to be rocking up to the same event and then I get the reaction of like, oh, I've heard this track before, Josh. I want people to look at me and go like, what is this? Like I've never heard this before. So
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
for me, that's like as a dancer, that's like peak DJ moment is when not because I think some DJs, I think that they think that as a dancer, we want the songs that we want, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's like, oh, they can kill that track or they know all the stuff, so that's the songs they want. Actually, and maybe I'm a different generation and maybe I'm irrelevant to this conversation, but I've always thought what I want is a song that I love that I've never heard before that moment.
Yeah.
So it comes on and I'm like, oh my God, this song's amazing. And I don't know it because I'm like, I want to dance it. Like you've had this before. It's like, it's come on shuffle on Spotify or SoundCloud. And then you want to just get up and just do a round because you're like, so it's like, if you give me that round, that feeling when I'm about to battle, I'm gassed about it. And even if I lose, this is what I was saying to you on voice notes. We were talking after you did the Unleash the Groove thing, but it's like, this is why I love this from what I heard of what you played. Cause it's like, when the music is good, I don't care if I won or lost. Like I just want to dance to that song, and like that's what I used to have. And now later on, I started to get bored with the music and stuff. So then I was like, all right, I'm just here trying to tick boxes to win. Yeah, I don't actually give a shit about the music.
Yeah, I don't like that though. I hate doing that whole I have to be tactical with like my round because the music's shit.
Yeah.
So like if I want to win, I have to do like a trick or I have to do like whatever now because like, I'm not connecting with the music. That's dead.
Because I also, as a dancer, like we can all three like attest to this. It's like you have plans and you have strategies, but when a song you love comes on, you don't need any of it.
Nah,
you're just like,
Jesus, take the wheel.
Just enjoy it.
Because you're like, I'll save that for the next, all those tricks I was going to do, I'll save that for the next round because I'm about to fucking kill this song. Yeah. Just because it's so sick.
By just dancing as well.
By just dancing to it. And whatever I freestyle will come out. It's only when a song is dead that you really need those.
Facts.
Like,
I mean, I said this.
You think about your rounds more.
Yeah, like I said this to like Tribe Lot in training one time. I was just like, guys, like even just like making like little combos and stuff. I was like, yo, you need those because like if you are in like an all style battle and you're doing house and it's like, I don't know, some shitty house song or whatever, and like you're just like, what am I gonna do? That's when you can drop those like little combos and tricks and shit, you know?
That's like one of the biggest mistakes I see people make in an all-stars battle. It's like, and it's always like younger, beginner, more experienced people. Although some more experienced people make this mistake too.
What, they try and do house when they don't even house?
It's like the house song comes on and it's like, they try and dance to
What's a farmer? What?
Yeah. And it's like days. Like I respect like trying to dance to the music, but you're trying to do the style that you think is the closest related.
You can still do your thing,
bro. Yeah, it's just
inspired by the exactly.
Just dance how you dance. Like find the thing in your dance that fits that song.
It's just groove. Like it's just a different type of groove.
Exactly. Yeah, but like it's like okay, if you're gonna do footwork, like you're I don't know, let's say Frankie doing house, right? Yeah. But then he gets a hip hop song. He could kill a hip hop song by just doing the footwork, but he wouldn't try and do
100%
running man and stuff.
I mean, he could.
He
will smash it up as well, bro.
True. But 100%. Anyway.
Well, going back to what you were saying is like, I think research is key. Yeah. Because you're not gonna, like you say, you play the same tracks over and over again, years on end. You're not gonna be any different to any other DJ. Yeah. But going back to your question of like, should you research battles to then have like a new updated music catalog? Like I say, yes and no. I will do it to an extent, but like I'm not going to sit there and take all the music from, like I say, like a France event or a Germany event, because I'm not trying to bring that music over here. I want to add my own flavor to it. And if there are certain tracks that I like, then I'm going to obviously like have them. Do you know what I mean? But then it's like, I'm going to limit it because I want it to be unique. So that's just how I see it.
And what about, because you guys both DJ for hip hop, but you've DJed like for other styles, and obviously you are both hip hop dancers. But like, what about if you were to DJ other styles? What does the research look like? Like if you had to, I don't know, have you done that where you've had to DJ like house? So
my thing is that like, I'm not afraid to ask people. Yeah. So like, I remember I had to do, this was a couple, I think it was like either a year ago or 2 years ago or something like that now. But I had to DJ like house, Krump, I think it was light feet and like hip hop and like some other styles or whatever. Like I just asked Shaq, I was just like, Shaq, bro, I need Krump tracks. Like I've got some, but like what's the best Krump tracks you lot be training to and shit? And he literally just gave me his Bandcamp and just like, bro, like just help yourself and all of that. And then from that, obviously I can look at the artists and do my own research and all of that. Like, and I feel like, some DJs probably don't want to ask for help if like even me and Josh be sharing tracks sometimes and just be sharing stuff, like it's calm.
Yeah.
And what's like, how much do you, in a situation like that where you're like, okay, he's gave me Krump songs, but also there's way more of a job to that. I need to find more first of all. Then you need to like know when to play it and
facts.
like which ones are prelim tracks, which ones are finals. So how much are you trusting your own ear in a style that you don't know very well? So are you
That's
going
a good question.
like, I think that this is a banger, so I'm playing it in the
is it a
finals because
banger
that's
to
my
everyone?
taste? Or are you going, oh, I want to ask Shaq, like, or one of the Krumpers, what's the best song, and then just trust them blindly? You know what I mean? Like,
Go on, Josh. I'll let you go.
Yeah, I think it's, you've got to have an ear for it. Whether it's your style or not, you've got to have an ear for it. You know, you've got to know what's good and what's not. And my strategy when selecting songs, whether it's going to be a prelim song or like songs that you're going to battle to, and then songs that are going to be later on in the battle, there's a strategy to it. You have to listen to the song and have to really understand, like, is someone gonna ride on this wave? Is someone gonna understand like that there's gonna be a drop in like 2 counts of 8? Is someone really you think about all these different things, and like I think if you really like go into it, it's complicated, but it's got to the point now where it's like I say, I like to keep things fresh, but say I played like a banger for hip hop 2-3 years ago, I'm not going to then play that in a battle anymore. I'm going to play that in the prelim. Do you know what I mean?
I think that's the way it should be.
Exactly.
Like,
you move that to the prelim folder, get something new for the,
Yeah. But if it's on a topic where it's like not my style, like I say, you've got to have an ear for it, but the research is so important in terms of, like Chaldon said, like because when I've done like Krump events or stuff like that, I've not been afraid to reach out to people. So like Kid NY, like I fucking love his Krump. I think he's one of the best Krumpers
and his tracks
in my eyes. And he produces himself. So I was like, let me go shout him. But then he was like, obviously I produce, but then these are the people that I listen to.
There you
so
go,
you're
man.
getting like,
easy.
You know, I don't know, like you've got to, if you know like producers, if you know people like DJs who obviously know other DJs and stuff, just look at their stuff. But like research is just so key. Like,
I was talking about also like in terms of like research, like I was talking about this with Lewis because he obviously, you know, he's been
DJing more, which is sick.
When he did the Next Gen Clash one, he had to do obviously the Light Feet one, and he stayed here the night before, and I was like telling him about my experience with Light Feet, and I was like, because you know, obviously if we've talked about this before, but like if a dancer like tries to tell you like change a track or start the track again, you're like, piss off kind of thing. It's like it's mad disrespectful, right?
Never telling me to change a track. I'll start it again for you.
The amount of times like people are looking at me going,
are you joking?
But this is what he said.
Nah, never, bro. Yeah, start it again.
But this is what I was saying to Lewis, because I was like I was saying to him, like, because obviously I film quite a few Light Feet battles now, so I know a bit, where it's like the way that they do it is that 2 people like face the camera, and if you two are battling, you both stand next to each other and you do your rounds towards me, so like you'll do an entire round, finish, and then they'll start the song completely again. It's not like a flowy battle, it's like a performance battle, and then you choose who wins, right? So I was saying to Lewis, I was like, they're doing it, and a lot of the UK, from what I can see, the way they do it is like face-off battles like we do the rest of our stuff. But I was like, if somebody kind of looks at you to change a track, like don't be surprised, like expect that, because that's part of how they do things. And I think it's similar with Krump, where it's like they tend to start a track again.
With a Krump track you have to start it again. There's no way you can play it through.
Right. So we're in.
But I feel like with any style, that's got to be.
But I feel like with hip hop, like if I was a DJ, I would tell people to piss off. Like I'll never tell you to start a track again.
No, and I do hear that. But
it just depends though, like, because if I'm battling someone in hip hop and like, you know, the lyrics like, of the track, might be different in the second part, and like they're not doing it justice, and I know I'm gonna smoke them on those lyrics. I'd be like, nah, reload that, bro.
Unleash the Groove.
You actually do it?
Yeah, I'll be like, no, just reload that.
Yeah, but I do it as well. I've done it so many times where I've like, when I've been battling, I'm like, can you like restart the track? Because it's like, I don't know, like I agree
maybe
with
the
Chaldon.
Second half of the track isn't not as good. Exactly.
So I would do it where it's like, no, I wouldn't do it, but I would like leave that up to you. So as a DJ, if you've said, oh, I'm going to loop this because the first track is the battle worthy part, the second part isn't. But if you left it playing, I think I would just like, I've always been like, oh, that's just how it is. Like I dance to what you play. So if you leave it playing, I'll dance to it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm not mad if you leave it playing.
But But you kind of give
But
a
it
cheeky,
depends if the first part of the track is like, you know, banging, and then the second part goes into this like interlude bit. You snaked
then
it.
you're like,
Yeah, right.
That
it, bro.
happened.
That's
This isn't
happened so
like
many
this
times.
isn't on like, I don't know if you were at Unleashed. You weren't at
No,
Unleashed.
I wasn't. No.
But Billy, I love Billy, but it happened, and Billy just wasn't aware of it. But it was like Mechanical was dancing, second, and he went to go, and then the track just completely changed, and it was all like jittery and wasn't really like. It wasn't what happened like within the, it wasn't consistent like it was when the first person was dancing. So then Mechanical actually stopped and was like, "Bro." Like while he was dancing, he was like, "I can't. Like, what is this? How are you doing me like this?" When but I fully get, which is why like 9 times out of 10 I will restart the track, because it's like you have to give the other person the same respect and the same like music as the first person that was dancing. That's how I see it, because it's fair. Like it's more fair. Like take that track, like just trying to think off the top of my head, but like the J Dilla, take your clothes off. Yeah. But you want to do between me and you, you're gonna want to like start doing your thing to it, and then like the latter part of the track is not the same. Okay, it's still sick, but then it's like
it doesn't hit the same.
That's how I see it. I hear that. There are some like second verses of, just so you guys know, if you play for me while I'm back, there are some second verses that I know really well. I know sometimes I'm like, verses in
all songs.
I mean there are second verses that I know.
Yeah, I know.
I'm like, I want the second verse. Like, leave it.
No, that as well. Same. I was like, don't restart it.
What's the one on Put Your Hands Where My Eyes Can See? You know when it starts like it starts a bar late and it's like, In God We Trust. Like I love that verse.
Leave it running.
But okay, cool. I think that's answered a lot of that question. I'm sure there's more. Do your research.
But I think the main thing is that like you need to have a good ear for just like good music, or like I think it just helps being a dancer. You kind of just know, oh, I would dance to this. I would love to get this in a battle, so I'm gonna play it in a battle.
That's exactly that's exactly.
And like maybe like you say, kind of understanding what people will react to.
Yeah, facts.
Like, because I feel like it's like not only what you like, but it's like knowing that other people will like it,
exactly.
and like what the style calls for. Like I don't know, with popping, it's like you could just say any song with a hard snare will work, but if you know popping, there's like a little groove that will, like, even if you play the most like electronic-y whatever, or like not a funk song, but there's still a little bounce that's underneath and a hard snare. That's what makes up like the popping feel. Whereas like I think a less seasoned DJ would be like, well, I can hear I like this
Lemon and Herb.
Yo, the choices of words are crazy.
Lemon and Herb DJ
I love
would
that.
That's like the offbeat Whirlpool, bro. Oh my days, that was incredible.
Yeah, shout out together. I didn't even actually hear it until I made the reel.
Mad.
Like I heard it at the time, but I didn't really focus. And then I was like, did he say offbeat Whirlpool?
Bro, the amount of times like I've been out now and I'm with other dancers and like we talk about that moment. Yeah, that's crazy.
Oh, that kills me. Okay, let's see what other ones we can bang through, because Josh has to go sometime.
No, we're good.
In the future.
We're good. Let's keep it rolling.
Okay, so do judges need to have a base understanding of every style in order to judge all style events? Ooh. You guys tell me what you think.
Do judges need to have a base understanding of all styles?
Of all styles?
All different, right.
I think it would be great, but like, I think you don't need to have like, you know, yes, an understanding of like maybe the styles, but I think like if you have like good enough knowledge of just like movement and like, you know, musicality and like these type of like principles just in dance, then you're able to like judge a different style. Like I might not be the best locker, but I can see if you're offbeat though. Yeah. I can see if you're grooving and like, you know, on time, and if you did a cool combo and if it made sense and all of these things, you know. I mean, I can still lock, so don't try it, but
wow. Who is there to try?
Yeah.
Wow. It's like
you know what I mean? Like,
tumbleweed.
Yeah, trust. But yeah, I feel like as long as you have like a good knowledge of like whatever your main style is and like, you know, movement in general, then I think you're good.
Yeah.
I can't disagree with that. I think if you know your stuff, you know what looks good. Similar thing with DJing. If you know what sounds good, if you know what looks good, then that's
man.
I think also this is part of the issue of like judging as well, because with the criteria and stuff, it's like nobody really knows when it says all styles. Does it mean it's open to any type of dancing and we're just going to judge it? Or is it like we're judging it by styles?
Yeah, it's never that though.
Yeah. What? Which one?
As in, it's never like you're judging it by styles. Like it's never.
Yeah.
I never feel like it's that strict.
Yeah, like
I always
you have
feel
to be
like
doing
it's more
a style,
open
but
style.
It's just anyone.
Yeah, you could do
open category,
anything
yeah.
you want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how I see it.
So yeah, in that case, I definitely don't think. I think if it was a category where you had to be doing a style, you could just be doing like, you know, the kind of mixed hip hop versus popping type of thing. Then you kind of have to know hip hop and popping.
Yeah, fact.
You know what I mean? Because it's like you can do anything to this music as long as it's hip hop or popping. But if it's anything you want to do, that's kind of what we say. Like we say all styles, but what we mean is any type of any style. It's not all styles. It has nothing to do with like hip hop, popping, locking. It's just dance free.
Yeah, that's why I normally try and brand stuff as like open styles.
Yeah.
So it's just
Or even
open
just
to
freestyle
all.
battles.
Yeah, exactly.
That's
exactly.
that would be fine. Okay, easily solved.
Know what you talk about.
Afro and Krump categories not seen enough in battles.
They're not, and I think they should be seen more.
Could throw a house in that.
House as well, yeah. House. I feel like house in the UK dance scene is there. Like obviously we joked about lock-in and it's not really there as much anymore. House is there, but it does still need that support of being in events and stuff, and like battles need to be happening more frequently for house dancers. But I remember coming into the scene and it was like Krump was like one of the most exciting things to watch because it was happening so regularly that you'd always look forward to seeing, I don't know, Shush versus Godson or like Mason versus
just wet wipes back in the day.
D, or just like even Braze, like so many people. Like the Krump scene was so sick, and it still is sick, but it's like what has happened for those styles not to really be involved in battles as much per se, like anymore. Afro, I think for me, just being in the scene and stuff, I don't know, but I think that's like I'm not going to say it's a new style because it's not a new style. That's not where I'm going with it, but it's like, it's a new style in terms of people actually battling each other in that style.
Yeah.
So like a lot of it, what I've seen at Freestyle Friday when I DJ'd there recently, there were so many Afro dancers and it was so sick watching them dance to all style music as well. Was so refreshing.
Yeah, and
like you
was
say,
at Red Bull Dance Your Style, he killed it.
Yeah, it's like, but like you lot said earlier, it's like just because there's a Krump track on, don't feel like you need to do Krump. And like these Afro dancers, when I was playing all different kinds of tracks, I don't know, all the genres were just varied. I was playing like Vogue, I was playing Amapiano, I was playing classical, etc. They were still doing their style. Sick. And it was so sick. And it's like, I think, shout out to people like Home Bros and Corey D, etc. And just Afro, Lulu, exactly. Everyone's just contributing so much to the Afro scene that I think now that style needs the recognition in the battles, and especially if people want to battle Afro. So
yeah, I was gonna say like it's all good saying like, oh, these styles need to be involved in that, but like if event organizers put these styles in their events and you man don't show up,
that's
why they're not there now.
That's another.
I think that's the thing with house. Like that's why it's not in events anymore. Is because nobody
show up if you want the category.
And I mean, this is also the thing where it's like where you start to see that it's not only the best dancers that contribute to these things, because it's like we have some of the strongest house dancers in the world in this country, but we have no house battles. And it's like it's because there's them, and then there's not a big like there's the best hip hop dancers here, but there's also a ton of other hip hop dancers who are like mid-level, who aren't great, who are beginner, and it's like you can always fill up a hip hop battle. Same with breaking. It's like you have Sunny Karam, whoever.
You always also have 40, 50 plus.
Yeah, you also just have a bunch of breakers. Like, so I think
maybe that's on like the scene as well. So like, I feel like if we are putting out more Krump battles, house battles, Afro battles, more dancers will probably invest in those styles a lot more.
Because there's a reward at the end.
Yeah, exactly. Whereas like now, especially like with Kingdoms League and stuff, it's mainly hip hop and popping.
Yeah, whereas like there's even more and more and more things to
exactly
aim for, and breaking obviously now.
Yeah.
Hip hop, popping, and breaking are always like surefire things, but it's also that's the thing is like if you're doing an event, you're scared to lose money, I guess, or you're scared to
I do hear that. I do hear that.
I think the ideal way would be like to have an event that brings in the money and then another event that's going to have less people, but you're doing it like if you're trying to push the scene. Is like instead of doing hip hop popping and breaking, do hip hop popping and house, or hip hop breaking and locking, or and you're
have like a bass style and then
build around it.
And you're like, I know also it's going to take up less time because there's gonna be like 7 people there, so fine, but just have the categories so people know that they can come and do it if they want to, you know.
But I feel like people will, like, as much as I was just like, yo, like make sure you go if you want those styles. I feel like people will go, like people will be on it.
I feel like more people now want to watch that stuff. Not now, but I'm just saying people want to watch it because it's not really been involved as much recently. So
especially
it's like,
man.
Yeah, I mean, Afro is like the least one in this conversation because I feel like there's so many people that do Afro.
You look at like the classes that happen at base and stuff. The rooms,
I think it would be packed. I don't think that's even a slight risk to add Afro to there.
And it's like you have someone like Sammy or like Dillons and they go tell their people and that's it. It's done. You know, you've got at least like 40, 50 people doing Afro. So
I also wonder though if like a lot of the people who know popping also know hip hop, also know breaking. Like it's a very similar, like popping and breaking have like a long history together. Hip hop and popping kind of grew side by side. So those styles are really like close knit, and they all like, if you can, like Brooke knows all the hip hop dancers and Kashmir knows the poppers, and so it's like
easily
you can easily pull the event together and get judges that can do the different stuff. But it's like I say with Afro, it's like if I was going to put on an event, it might be like, oh well, like I would know where to start, but someone who doesn't know the scene at all would be like, where do I even like, who even DJs Afro stuff? Like who could I get to say with Krump, it's like, all right, is there a whole bunch of rules I have to look? Like hip hop popping and breaking is like round judge, round
talk to people, man.
It's just research, but I mean I wonder if maybe that's what people are being put off by.
True.
I always think as well, it's like just obviously organizing an event is difficult, but it's like the more styles you include,
the longer the day, the
longer it gets. People get frustrated. People are like, I just want to fucking dance now. And then it's like you're waiting hours on end because they're taking unnecessary breaks. And this is not digging at anyone, but it's just like it does happen at events. And I find too many events. And it's like when you're dancing and you're waiting like hours to do your prelim, but then you know you've got to wait hours again if you do get through to then battle. It's just so jarring. So I think possibly that might be a reason as to why they don't include different styles. So it's like, because if you have so many different styles within a battle, it's like, you know, you're going to have to wait longer. Yeah. And you're not going to please everyone that way. So
I do think we've got to start considering the possibility of like multiple things happening at the same time at an event.
Yeah.
Like I wouldn't be mad. I don't like it like at Summer Dance where there's 2 dancers dancing at the same time for the same set of judges. However,
that's dead.
That is dead. But
like having a different room, so you have like one thing in one room and then
having 2 rooms is ideal, or 3 rooms or whatever is ideal.
It always happened at Champs, didn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I've been to quite a few battles, especially the bigger overseas ones where there's different battle rooms. But also, even you could feasibly, right? If you've got 3 judges, you could split them up and then have like 3 prelim, like they do at WDSF, where they have 3
circles
prelim, like circles or stages.
What was that thing in France they had? I think like Serial Steppers were doing it. Was it Serial Steppers?
Oh, the Hawks method thing.
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's more of a conceptual thing where they have 4
like
people. Have you seen it?
Yeah, I've seen. Yeah, I've seen.
Where they have 4 people like back to back.
Just when you were saying 3, that's the first thing that came to mind.
And I think it's like, all right, you can all dance to the same like track. So it's like, okay, but there's just 3 of us going at once, and everybody marks down their thing, and then they go and discuss it back in backstage afterwards. But it's like, I think this thing of like us all needing to focus on one thing at the same time for the whole day, it just drags out the event, because it's like, you know what I mean, if you had 3 people going, it's you cut the prelims down by a third, you know what I mean? Sorry, by 3 times, not by a third. So it's like something that would have taken an hour now takes 20 minutes.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's that's gonna, I think that sort of thing would solve a lot. If you have 2 rooms, way better. Because it's like you could even have another style that you like, you know, like, all right, like we've only got like 10 house participants or whatever, right? Run their battle in the other rooms. They still get a battle. You can still go there and watch. You know, the main event is this for now until that builds, but you're giving them a chance to battle. You know.
For sure.
What else have we got? How can one train smarter and more efficiently? Tribeways.
Come to Tribeways.
Promoter.
I think it goes back to what I said about having people around you who are on the same shit that you're on, or like, you know, trying to achieve the same stuff that you're trying to achieve. Maybe not exactly the same, but yeah, having like, you know, a support system or just like a place where, you know, you can be yourself, you can like explore, try out new shit. No one's going to judge you. I feel like that's like the best thing for me personally, like to grow and train smarter. And definitely have someone who's better than you to kind of like give you pointers, or doesn't have to be like a whole mentor thing, but
it can even just be someone your age that's more advanced than you.
Exactly.
Yeah. Don't be afraid to ask.
Yeah, facts.
Because you can always learn from someone.
Yeah, and get feedback, you know. Don't be scared of like criticism and all of that. Like
what was the question, sorry?
Like how can you train more efficiently and smarter?
I think for me, it's like, I can't disagree with Chaldon at all there, but for me, it's like the way everyone's got their own like training method. Everyone knows how they like to train, what suits them, etc. For me, it's like I will train at home and not train with anyone for, like I have been. I haven't really been dancing with anyone, but I have been dancing at home. So, you know, I've been dancing at home maybe like 3-4 times a week since the last battle I did. I don't know, but it's like I will always film my session.
That's what I was going to say.
So it's like, because you know what you're doing might feel good, and you know what you're doing. If you, I don't know, you mess up in one part and you slip up and then you're like, oh, but it's like, if you film actually what you're doing and you see it like outside like of your body, if that makes sense, it's
and then
like
you can work on your structure and presentation.
That's how. Shout out to this guy.
Come on.
But that's literally how I train.
Yeah, I hear
just
that,
film
bro.
yourself and look at what you're doing. And
I haven't danced, or like I haven't trained at home for years without filming. Even if I don't put it online or anything, I just film it. Like I think, I mean, we all know this, but it's like stuff that feels good sometimes looks like shit. And stuff that looks feels like shit,
might
you watch it back and you're like,
really good.
what the hell?
So many times.
How many times have we all battled? Even like regardless of training, but we've battled and been like, oh, that round was arse, or my prelim was shit. I'm lucky I got through it. And then you watch it back, you're like, oh, that was actually quite sick.
That's why I got through.
Bro, I have this all the time with like my cleanliness. Like I always, because it's always something that's on my mind anyway.
Bro.
But I'm like, oh my God, I just did this whole like
and
threading thing and it was messy as shit. And I watch it back and I'm like, that was clean as well, motherfucker. Like, but you don't know that stuff. Or it's like there's habits that I've had to like get myself out of because it felt like I was doing some shit.
Yeah.
And then like especially with popping, where it's like for me with popping all the like boogaloo type of like like doing a walkout and stuff, I'm like, oh yeah, I feel like a fucking boogaloo doing it. And then I look and I'm like, you look awkward as shit. So like just stop like those hips are not rolling like how you think they're rolling, you know.
It's true though. It's
but
true.
It's like you have to watch it back. I think that's a big thing.
You have to. And it, like following on from that, it's like you watch something and it will look good, but then it's like, okay, how can I then maybe structure my round around that?
Yeah.
So that's where it comes into like training smarter. You know? So
and if you're like me and you basically forget a lot of the stuff that you do, like because you do like I do so many rounds. I'm just like, what the
you
fuck
make something up and you don't remember the
freestyle and I can't remember what I actually did. Maybe like one moment or whatever. You need to film your stuff to like retain some sort of information of what you're putting out.
Oh, bro, if I was actually coaching someone on a like, okay, you're gonna be like competitive level like around the world, I would have them make folders on their desktop and it would be like rounds, like freestyle rounds. It would be like different like foundation or like structure. It would be like, I would say make up like different like floor work moves every day. Come up with just one floor work move and have a folder on your desktop that has just files of you filming one. Just do it once, a 3-second file. But so then you can go in and even name them with little nicknames. Anytime you want to go, like you do for before battles or whatever, go through. Like as I say for DJing, but like for dancing, you go through and be like, right, what am I going to use? Flick through and be like, I haven't used this one.
Exactly though.
It is.
Start building up a catalog.
I don't have that, but like in my mind, I have this catalog of like stuff that I can do. And then like, even for the structure, I tell my like tribe lot, I'm just like, you've got obviously got your main stuff that you have to include, like your groove, bounce, whatever. And then you've got all of these like techniques and movements and tricks and stuff that you can just slot into
exactly
the like structure of your round.
And different
like,
ones will suit, and it's kind of like the decision making, because it depends on the song. Like
exactly,
you get a song, and this is what probably the same with all three of us, but like this is what happens in my head. It's like I get a song, let's say it's a bit more like it's hip hop battle, but it's a bit more like like tech whatever. I'm like, okay, cool, this is going to be a bit more of like less of a bounce stuff, a bit more concepts. I'm going to go waves and then a little bit of tuts, right? And then maybe some intricate footwork. That's going to be my round, but it's based on the song. And then it's like an old school thing. It's like, right, what energetic stuff have I got that's big? All right, I'm going to use this floor work move, this. And it's like you go into your library and you go pull those three will match on this song. There's your round, you know?
Can't disagree with that.
Rather than just starting moving and being like, oh,
best.
when do I use this floor work thing? The other thing I was going to say actually on training smarter and more efficiently is I think it's like any art, like we could look at it in the sport way, but I also think if we look at it like with art, is like you need to have something to say, right? Like with your dance, like not in the literal way, but like I'm a cool guy, but like like you have something to get out to the world, like something that you want to prove, or like your thing, or like your whatever. You only develop that, in my experience, through life experience. So it's like a lot of how I like came up with my style or the way I dance is like just from traveling around, meeting people. Like there was a bit, I don't do it so much now, but when I was early 20s, I was like traveling loads for battles and stuff. And I would go and just cypher with random people and blah, blah. And it's like, you build up this, like you try stuff out, you see what they're doing, you learn, even just traveling and becoming, you know, like becoming a more rich person and with like life experiences, hanging out with friends, just being a human. Like, I think these things like give you something to say to the world. Cause you're like, you're out to, you're like, I really don't like war, or I don't know, whatever. And then you're like, oh, maybe I'm more of like hippie person and I'm going to be all floaty. And like, I don't know, it all translates to the way that you dance. So my thing is like, if you just lock yourself in your room and all you do is like, and you say that you train at home and you film yourself, but you're also of a certain life experience to do that. I think especially young dancers who you're just in your room, just doing the stuff. It's like, that by itself will give you the strong technique, but it won't give you something to say. And it's just like the more you're out there living life, like especially with your dance, but even if it's not, even if it's just go out and get drunk with your friends, or like, you know,
you're going to experience something.
You're going to grow as a person, and that's going to give you something to say. Like even, you know, again, Silk Max, like I think his pop-in really shot through the roof when he started doing contemporary more seriously. Because he had other life experiences to talk about in his dance or show, you know? So it's like, I think you always see that with people. I think like we'll see that with Maisie. Like you think Maisie's good now.
Oh yeah.
She's
once she goes through some shit.
Once she like is out there living life and traveling around and learning from different people. And she's like now she's been exposed to like very few poppers. When she goes and she sees the world and she sees all the different, she might love Krump and be like you know, remember Theodora from Ghetto Style?
Yeah. The way she incorporated.
She's a hip hop dancer, but she's a krumper. She dances krump and like tuts and stuff in hip hop. And same with like Canon and
I'm here for the tuts.
And it's like that's life experience. That's going. There's like Alex the Cage. It's like he looked at capoeira and breaking and was like, I'm bringing that into hip hop. So I think you've got to have that aspect. Like you got to live life and have something to bring to the table on top of all this other stuff as well.
100%. I'm not saying like lock yourself in your room and like
there is a time and place for that too.
No, of course, and you've got to. I don't know. You've got to feel right about doing that, but then obviously you do have to be with other people as well. But you did that following a period of traveling and battling. Of course, and I felt like I needed to do that, and I probably will be, you know, training again with people again, you know, in the near future. But it's like you say, like I had to do it just for where I was at mentally and like where I'm at in my life in terms of what I'm doing with myself, like day to day. But I'm so happy that you brought that up though in terms of like life experiences, because it's like. The one thing that will always stand out to me is like when you started talking about this, I was just smiling the whole time. Like you'll probably see it when you look back, but it's like Clara, when I was like training with Clara and Clara was teaching me and stuff, and because I've had a few teachers along the way, but it's like I was training with her for a while and then went and did my thing, like, I don't know, training by myself a bit. I had a bit of an injury, come back or whatever. I ended up getting a girlfriend. Shout out to my girlfriend. But it's like, once I got a girlfriend, Clara was like, your dance has changed.
Yeah.
She went to me.
Because you grow up.
Yeah,
you're a man.
You're a man. You're a man. But no, but it's true. It's
Josh is like, my body started changing.
Wow, yo. Wow,
no, but it's
imagine.
like, she was like, I can really see the maturity in your dance now.
Yeah,
So it's
I hear
like,
that, man.
there's so many different things that can affect your dance and like the way you dance. You
Yeah,
might not
hell
even
yeah.
realize it. Like the people who you surround yourself with, the things you're doing day to day, etc. Like you say. So yeah, I think it's so sick.
Yeah, definitely.
So sick.
All right. Do you want to try and bang through all the rest? There's another
Bro,
four.
I'm good for
Okay.
time. It's all good.
So why does the UK not currently have a big international event outside of breaking and Red Bull? I think it means UK
B-Boy
B-Boy
Champs.
Champs and Red Bull.
Production value is defo key,
Yeah.
I
But
think.
do you think that's why we don't have one?
I think I don't think that's the sole reason, but like I definitely feel like that for my personal just like preferences, I feel like that's one of the things, because like when I see battles in like, you know, France and
Yeah.
like different countries, especially like Holland and stuff, it looks like there's funding. It looks like they've got a bit of money.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Like that's
Yeah,
why
like,
people aren't like
yeah,
flocking here to come and do that.
And then even like the cash prize as well is something more than £200,
Yeah,
and like you know, like, and this isn't a dig at any like event organizers, because
No, but if you want a big international event,
I feel like that's probably what's gonna bring in
Yep.
Yeah.
the international dancers. I feel like we're
consistency.
doing well though, like
We
in
are,
terms of
yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like we are, yeah.
some battles and stuff.
But I think it's like even the ones that have
Consistently,
been
yeah.
big is
Yeah,
like
yeah.
it takes long. Like takes like how long has Summer Dance been going? You know, like 10,
Yeah, for
however
real.
many years.
Yeah.
This- and
it
the
takes
quality,
years to be that same time every year
Yeah.
that it happens. And
Same
the same
venue,
exactly.
yeah.
You
vibes
have to
every
really
time.
build.
But you got to
Yeah.
think about it as well. I think like when they probably first started that, they probably made no profit and was out of pocket for the
champs.
yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Or like
Or
yeah,
Summer Dance.
Summer
Yeah,
Dance,
yeah.
just whatever big event. Like you got to think that these organisers, like you say, are probably not making any money
No.
to start with. But then as things go along, like you say, being consistent, it really
Or getting
does.
funding from the beginning. If you look at
Yeah.
someone like Bagsy's Work the Floor thing, I think that is a big international event that people.
Yeah.
Like, actually, to be honest, if you say, because he didn't mention anything about style, it's like Work the Floor is up there.
Oh yeah,
Because like
100,
Work
yeah.
the Floor
Oh, yeah.
and Lightfest, I have to say. So
Lightfest,
in their
yeah.
respective
Oh, yeah.
styles,
I
Yeah,
feel
yeah.
a bit
Lightfest,
like Firehouse, a bit
Hip Hop
'cause-
Weekender, yeah.
because there are times where I've like been there and like they've obviously had guests come over from like France or
Yeah.
Germany, etc. Or I don't know, but then like you do see other dancers come and flock in as well.
Yeah,
or
sure.
people who you haven't seen before.
We definitely have way more international people come in here for stuff than we ever used to. I just think when I say about Work the Floor and Lightfest, it's like Lightfest, as far as I'm aware, is like the biggest light feet event in definitely Europe. Like,
Oh, yeah.
potentially one of the biggest in the world in terms of like in for light feet. And Work the Floor, I know, is like one of the bigger events of whacking.
Yeah.
So it's like, I know there's obviously other big ones, but it's like there's people from all over the world that come for Work the Floor.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I think it's also like it's well funded and it's consistent. You know what I mean? It's the same. It's not the same venue, but it's same sort of vibes from what I can see like every year. So I think, yeah, like you said, production value, consistency.
Yeah,
Yeah, man.
It all like adds to it.
Yeah,
But-
I think like that's you know what it's like. Hopefully, I will put my money where my mouth is at some point. But what I would say to event organizers is like, people want to rush and just do an event. It's like, think like long term. Like before you even like take a year to plan. Like look into funding. Like get a team together and be like, don't be like, I'm gonna put on an event in 3 months or whatever. Be like, I'm gonna start running events for the next 10 years.
Yeah.
And then how long will it take you to prepare for that? Not like how long does it take you to prepare for the first one and then see what happens.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
It's like if you think of yourself like, right, I'm about to become an event organizer over the next 10 years and I'm going to build the UK's biggest event. You need a bit more prep time for
Yeah,
that. You need to look into
facts.
funding,
Yeah,
man.
do your research. Like I'd be going to different events, taking notes, like if I wasn't ready for this.
Yeah,
but like,
yeah.
you know, like going like, right, I want to run a popping battle. Let me go see the best and the worst popping battles. Why are they good? Why are they bad?
Yeah,
Talk to dancers, do the research.
Bro, I've been doing that, bro. Even for my thing, like, I
Yeah,
just, like,
exactly.
I talk to people and get feedback and
Yeah.
be like, "Yo, like, what didn't you like about this battle?"
Yeah.
Like, especially battles that I weren't at, like, as well.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I'm like, "Yo, what? Like, how did it go?" And people are saying like either the music or like
Yeah.
maybe the judges or whatever. Like, you know, like do your research.
Yeah.
It's so helpful, man.
Yeah, and I think I think that's.
All I'm gonna say is watch out for OV Battle.
Ooh,
Jeez,
yes.
coming
When
soon.
did he say? September, October?
October 28th.
Sick.
Yeah, all I'm going to say is watch this space. Toby and I have been working together with a few, because we're talking about events. I'm just going to promote that while I can, but it's like,
October 28th. That's a Saturday.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. There is going to be the 29th as well. We're going to do something on that day. I don't want to talk too much and reveal too much, but yeah, just keep the date free.
Yeah.
Keep thinking about it in years to come as well, because we want to make sure that is something big.
Me and Omni are coming back to win it again.
What battle when you battle, do you feel free, or do you feel like you are dancing to tick the boxes to get further in the battle or win?
Good question.
I feel like early days I was trying to tick boxes. Now so much I don't give a fuck about boxes, and I'm just trying to do my thing. That's just because I guess like dance wise I'm doing other things than battling. Like battling's not my like main like, oh, I want to battle and be a battle dancer. Like I'm trying to be an artist kind of thing. So yeah, like when I go to battles, I'm honestly just here for the vibes and like doing my thing. And if I'm gonna win or get far, like then lit, you know. If I don't, then it's all blessed. Like I'm doing me.
I hear that. I think for me, it's like my dance will be free when, like you say, you're comfortable in that space, in that room. But I feel like I was ticking boxes at the start, but then have become more free with it. But then I do feel like I still, when I say try to tick boxes, I'm only basing that off of if there's a certain judge that's judging that event, I know that they like a certain criteria that I like dance. They might like me to do more of my foundation and stuff. They might like me to add more bounce into it. So I'm going to look at that, but I'm still going to try and do my thing.
Yeah, so like know what the boxes are.
Yeah, know what the
like,
boxes
have
are.
freedom with your style. Yeah.
Yeah.
Word.
Interesting. Yeah, I feel like I've that's interesting. I feel like only with the music, it's not really ticking boxes, but it's more like,
what if you're not feeling the music?
Yeah, not if I'm not feeling music, but also like the style of. So like, for example, if I'm doing hip hop now and you guys played like a proper old school track, I'd be like, like I can't just ignore the vibe of this song. Like I've never really cared about judges so much because I've never been a big winner, but I would try to just, like you said, just do my thing and create an impression. But I've always felt a little bit of like trying to, not pressure, but like, like I don't want to just be like, okay, I'm going to dance exactly the same song on a like electronic-y song as I am on an old school.
Yeah, no.
I'm like, I want to show
match
that
the vibe of the song.
and it's like, do I have enough like foundations to just do a straight up foundation round? Probably not. Okay. So then how do I translate what I do into like a that sort of mentality?
I guess it's experience again, like just it's like if you were dancing to a house track, like how do you marry your style rhythm and groove of house and stuff.
Yeah, which is what I've felt with like ticking boxes in that way, in the sense of like I just want to make sure I'm matching the vibe of the music. But that's like my self-imposed boxes. I've decided that's how I want. Like I'm like, I don't want to be the dancer that just does the same rounds on everything. I want it to feel like
I'm
different.
the same.
But in terms,
but it should be like that though.
Yeah, I think that's how you're supposed to do it. I don't want to say that, but like,
no,
you should be dancing to the
Follow
song.
these guidelines.
You dance to the song. What are you doing? Like
exactly, and we should feel like I shouldn't watch all your rounds on mute and they should all look the same. I should be able to feel like, oh, it's probably this type of song, or
that's true.
That's hella
true,
shots. I know you weren't firing
so
shots, but that's hella shots at people.
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
but that's like, if I watch your rounds on mute and there's two things with that. If I watch your rounds on mute and they all have the same vibe, like I should be.
You're doing the same moves.
They're finding, even if it's not what I expect, I'd be like, oh, they're finding some sort of bounce in this track, and then if I turn on, I'm like, oh, that's an interesting choice. But I should be able to like, or they're like, oh, they're doing loads of concept-y movement, stop, start stuff. I'm like, oh, I bet the song is like this, or they're just picking apart a track. But it should feel like you're trying to do something on music. But the other thing also is like, even more with certain styles, but you should be able to find the beat, watching your round on mute. Like that's something that like Renegade said that years ago, and I always like remember that. It's like
100.
Yeah,
it's like if I put your round on mute, like it was with Poppin, he was talking about it, and that's a way more obvious because you should be hitting on it. But it's like if I put this round on mute, can you find the 2 and the 4?
Yeah,
like and then turn it on and be on like on the right thing. It's even more in hip hop. I think it's like if I'm watching around, and I can't tell where the beat is when it's on mute. It's like that's a good way to check if you're
what your ass doing.
Yeah, he said it. All right, last question. What style of dance, this is a nice one to finish on. What style of dance is your most favorite to watch from a dancer's point of view? I don't know if that means because we're dancers, like what's our most favorite style to watch, or if it just means
I've got 2.
What do we think? No, yeah, I think that's what they mean. Go on, favorite style and why? Yeah, you said you got 2.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm gonna have the same 2 as you. I feel like
say it at the same time.
No. 1, 2. No, I'm joking. First is breaking. Like I fucking love breaking. Like just physically, technically, like just how they can move, like especially when it's done good and when like they dance as well. Like I know breakers have had this whole thing with like dance, like do you dance and all of that
Danny
shit.
Dan?
Yeah.
Have you seen Danny Dan?
Danny Dan
from France.
Yes, yo, that's what I'm saying. Like him, Supreme, a lot of the other guys, like
absolute gangsters.
Like they fucking dance on beat, like, and they break and do like that's what I aim for.
That is like top level breaking.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like
Not
if I was a breaker, I would be like that, you know.
Stuff. Yeah.
So yeah, I watched like all breaking battles. Like I've been watching all of that shit for time. Like I love all of that stuff. Like I know a lot of breakers' names that I shouldn't even probably know because I'm a hip hop dancer. Yeah, like I'm in that shit, bro. Music could be better, but whatever.
Yeah, that's true. That is true.
But sometimes it slaps though. But yeah, the other one is Krump.
Yeah.
Because I feel like even my style is like literally like I feel like my style's like Krump but without the aggression. Like I feel like I've got like a lot of the like techers and like maybe concepts and stuff, but like I don't do all of the jabs and shit. I'm bouncing and grooving with my techers and that. But yeah, I love watching Krumpers because like the way they move and the way it's like so free and like sometimes just like unexpected as well. Like that's what I love.
Sick. Did you have the same?
They are the same.
Boom.
I did also want to obviously say about hip hop, but
obviously hip hop, but
yeah.
No, but if you're in it too much, it's like maybe not your favorite.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. It's samey.
But it's like similar sort of things. It's like when I watch breaking, to see what they do with their bodies and to put their bodies through that. Like, don't get me wrong. When I first started dancing, I learned pretty much every style that I could just to understand it. And like when I was doing breaking, the way my body would be mashed up and the bruises that I would have. So for
doing some basic
just
shit
for
as well.
doing some 6-step.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Like, why does everything hurt and I don't even know half the shit? Like,
but it's like I have a lot of respect for b-boys, and
man.
I think like you say, when you see it done properly, like done right in terms of they can actually dance with their top rock, but also then incorporate their moves, like their power moves, etc. I just think it's incredible to watch. So that's why I have so much love for that style. Krump as well, because it's like you can really tell a story with Krump. There's so much emotion that goes into it as well. So yeah, Krump's another one. But then hip hop is like the reason why I love hip hop so much. I don't want it to be controversial, but it's like
because I'm the best.
Wow, no, that is just not.
That's not where you're going with that. Sorry,
that's not where I was going.
Because he came in the game young, smoked everyone, and then now.
I can just tell a little edit's gonna come in, zoom on my face there. No, it's more so like I feel like I don't want to, like I said, I don't want it to be too controversial, but it's like hip hop, you can be so free with it, and you don't want it to be too free, so it's like you can't see that it is hip hop, but it's like dancers like Majid, dancers like I'm going to say like Lumi. I'm just trying to think of the ones who really give me like that raw freestyle feel of hip hop, rather than like having to constantly structure your rounds so that you have this move in it, that move. When I watch those dancers, Joseph Go,
Yeah.
oh my God, Bataya, the way they dance is so incredible because they're not thinking, right, I'm going against this person, so I have to include this move. I'm gonna, you know, they're so free with their hip hop. It's just so
dancing,
beautiful to watch. Yeah, they're dancing. So that's why I love hip hop as well.
Yeah, there's definitely more of a freedom to hip hop than a lot of other stuff. It's like a less of a.
You have to. I feel like with obviously Krump and breaking and also popping, and I'm gonna say pretty much every other style bar hip hop is like you have to follow certain moves.
There's like a reliance on vocab.
Yeah, exactly.
That
vocab.
we don't have so much in hip hop. Like I feel like
you've got to have your bounce, but it's like
this is controversial. I feel like vocab.
Yeah, facts. I was gonna say, but it's good and bad though.
No, but I feel like I feel like vocab. This is the controversial statement.
Right.
I feel like vocab is optional in hip hop, right? And I feel like that to an extent with popping, but
keyboard warriors.
This is the way.
Because I kind of agree with you.
This is the way I see like hip hop, right? I think if you talk about like the Running Man and the whatever,
that's vocab.
That's not foundation.
No,
the foundation is the rock and the bounce.
There you go.
So if you do that, because the thing is how I always describe this when I'm teaching is like if you do the Running Man, you can take the steps off the top and you're still left with a bounce.
Yeah.
Even if you're doing each step, you're still doing bounce, 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 bounce. But it's like just
but you
with
can't
steps.
do the step without the bounce.
Yeah.
Otherwise you're not really doing the run.
Take anything else away from the bounce. Once the bounce is there, if you take that away, you just stop moving.
That's the foundation.
That's the bottom. Yeah. And then vocab is next. And then your stuff is on top. So I feel like as long as you're doing the rock and the bounce, you can kind of do whatever you want and just move freely as long as you keep that bounce. And even the most hardcore hip hop head would like, I think, agree with that, is that like you have this thing. Obviously you can show like cultural relevance, you can show connection to the song, all this through vocab. And that's like tools to do it, but you don't have to use the vocab in your rap. I would maybe say the same with popping, because it's like, but then I think popping is a little bit less easy to break up like that, if you know what I mean.
Because some people would even animation, and then
because some people would even like.
But can you just do animation in popping? And
this is the whole.
That's enough.
This is the debate.
Yeah.
There's no one really has a like. I've heard completely contrasting arguments, because it's like you could even say, all right, as long as you're doing like just hits, right?
Yeah.
Like that would be the replacement for the bounce. Let's say.
Right.
But some people would be like. Hits or pops are vocab, and you can do stuff like animation without a single hit and you're still doing popping foundation. And waving, some people will be like that's a foundation. Some people will be like, oh, the moves in strutting
but
don't
that's
require
a technique,
hit
though.
I mean, this is why it's all like
because
it's hard
we
to
wave
say.
and strut in hip hop, like you can do that in hip hop.
What about like animation where there's no hits to it? So then, okay, so what's the foundational movement quality? Like where we have the bounce in popping, let's say in animation, what would be the but let's say they did an entire round without hitting. There's a lot of animators that would be like, that's still, you're still doing animation.
And but that's underneath the popping bracket, right?
I guess it's under, like, this is where my, like, the extent of my knowledge comes, and this is where we need Omni, but like
Yo, next one.
Yeah,
next one.
No,
Which is like this.
No, that's interesting though.
I feel like the pod is going to become like like the Marvel universe, where it's like each pod is going to connect. It's like, well, right, we brought up this conversation last week, this
Omni.
week, and then and then Omni and someone else is going to be here. They're going to explain something else, and then they'll be like, yeah, isn't that like breaking? And I'm like, right, here we go.
Yeah, someone else explain it with breaking.
There'll be post credit scene where Omni comes in now, and he says, actually, in animation, that's the end of the pod.
Right over there.
Yeah, I mean, I think from my understanding, which is admittedly not a place of expertise, that popping is a little bit more debated than hip hop. I feel like most hip hop dancers, if you said to them, foundation is there, that's kind of non-negotiable.
Then you've got the vocab.
Vocab helps, but it's negotiable. Concepts and stuff on top. Do whatever the hell you want as long as the bounce stays there. That's why I think, side tangent, but that's why I think Alex has been so successful, because I feel like his floor work has a bounce to it, which no one has really done before.
Yeah.
But this is what I mean. Like some people, like I feel like the level of certain people, especially with like Alex, like goes over some people's heads, because like he might be doing something simple to like some people's eyes,
when you watch it,
when you actually deep it, because your level is high enough to actually see that shit. You'll see the groove, you'll see the the way he's flowing with it or whatever. Like,
there's been some people that are like really crazy with like floor work and stuff before, but it's like even you know, like I'm trying to think of an example, but it's like a lot of people use it as like a trick or a transition, or they go down, do a cool thing, and then get back up. Alex, I feel like he keeps this rhythm and this bounce from top to bottom to back up, and I think that's what people maybe like miss or goes over their head, is that it's like you're keeping your foundation even if you do a whole round of floor work, which I hadn't seen a lot before I saw Alex.
Yeah, for real.
Like there was people that would be on the floor but not with like a rhythmic bounce. It's almost, that's where I think the capoeira stuff comes in, I guess, that he does, because it's like that's not a breaking thing, because breakers have their rhythm but not in the bounce of it. It's more in the steps and but like he created this like capoeira bounce to his hip hop on the floor, which I was like, that's what makes him so special. Yeah, you can stay down there as long as you want. It's still you're still showing all your foundation and all. The way
I've watched him do a whole round on the floor and smoke someone, because he's still got his bounce, his rock, his groove within his movement that is on the floor, is just it's nuts. It's crazy.
I don't think there's anything else. No more questions from the audience. Thanks to everyone that
appreciate that.
gave in a question. Any final thoughts? Any messages you want to get out to the world? Anyone you want to cuss out? Now's the time to do it.
Wow.
Next question. Who's the worst DJ in the scene? No, don't answer that.
Wow.
Who's the worst dancer in the scene? Don't say me.
Wow.
That's
crazy.
No, don't answer any of those questions.
Yeah, book me and Josh for your events. Josh is already getting booked up, but yeah, book me as well.
Book me as well to film it.
Yeah, facts.
I'll film it. They'll DJ.
That's it.
We've got
we
the
can
vibes.
all judge together.
Little triple threat
Facts,
lineup.
we can judge, film, and DJ at the same time.
We could enter as well. This couch could do an entire event.
That's it.
Yo, that's
we
true.
can
You know?
That's all we got to do.
True, you know?
We can host.
Look at the way we've been talking. We can host.
We could just rotate. One of us judge, one of us film, one of us DJ.
Yeah, monthly.
Just switch it as we go.
Yeah. Should we do it?
That's
That'll be lit.
Yeah, definitely people book us.
Yeah, man.
What events are there coming up that we can talk about?
Same but different.
Same but different Friday?
This Friday,
which is the...
I'll be at that.
28?
I don't know where we are.
Yeah, 28th.
Yeah, I won't
28th
be
at
here.
Red Bull.
Fingers crossed this will be out by then. I think this is going to come out tomorrow.
Okay, so
first.
So yeah, same but different. The one at the hub.
There's one at the hub. I think it's called Growing or Grow.
But there's like a bracket around the R and the W. So I'm like, is it?
Not too sure what that stands for, but
going.
They're playing right wing. Right wing. Yeah, they're playing
right wing.
Yeah.
I'm dead.
Firehouse is coming up.
Yes, Firehouse Weekend.
Yes, I like this battle. I feel like this is my favorite one that they do, man.
That venue,
which is outside.
Yeah.
It's so sick, man. So sick. I will be DJing. So
as always, vibes.
Yeah.
Let's go.
But yeah, I'm also going to be battling again. So
woo!
Jeez, come on.
Welcome back. Welcome back.
I mean, you need to come back, because I saw you've beat me like twice or something now. Well, like every time I battle, this guy used to beat me, but I've been training, bro. Watch.
Ooh,
yeah, I want to test myself, man. It's been a minute. Yeah. It's been a minute.
Josh
obviously, I've been out of it for a while, but
I remember the first time Josh beat me.
Is it?
You were vexed.
It hurt. Was it?
Man said vexed.
Was it the one when Umu was judging?
Yeah,
that one we had a good. No, I wasn't vexed by that one. That was sick.
Yeah.
Because that went to an extra round.
Yeah.
And then that was good. I was happy. No, actually, I was pissed. Yeah, I just remembered now. No, but I think
the video is still on YouTube. So if you want to go watch it, guys.
Nah, jokes.
No, I was definitely pissed, because I think that was when you first actually started to like get good and not be a kid anymore.
Yeah.
So I think I had in my head, I wasn't obviously vexed in a real way, but like in a battle way. But I was like, I feel like that was the moment where I was like, I don't know how to take him anymore. Like, because it used to be like, oh, that's a kid. You know, like when you battle a kid, it's like, it's a kid and you just kind of like do some of your stuff. And then it's like, you started to get to a point where I was like, all right, I have to fucking actually start trying to do good stuff against Josh. And then you beat me and I was like, fuck, like he's actually a good dancer now. Like he's not a kid anymore. And then I was like, fuck, I have to take him seriously. Like, you know, it's like when someone's, it's like, I feel like Maisie's not far off that, whereas people are like, oh, she's cute. And then
she's
now
gonna
or in the next,
to an event
I feel like
within the next year
there,
or two.
What?
Yeah,
she's already there.
Like I think,
but like to just rock up and then smoke, like, I think it's going to happen very, very soon.
It's also like
I get
what level would talk, because like some mid-level popper needs to be careful with Maisie, but it's like I still think people like Harry or whoever.
Oh yeah, I get what you mean.
They're gonna beat her because you know it's fine. She's young.
But like those mid-level poppers, watch out.
For sure.
You'll be like, oh, it's just a kid.
But there'll be a point where like people like Harry or whoever, they'll see Maisie. Maybe not Harry, but like because that's his student. But like I don't know. I'm trying to think of like like Mechanical or whoever is like these like
She'll
people
come
that are
out
winning.
one day and be
and they'll be like, oh, she's a
beast.
kid, and then she'll do a round and they'll be like, oh shit, wait, hold on, I need to do an actual good round.
Yeah.
It happens quick.
You better let her go fast as well.
Yeah, for real. Kids grow up too quick, innit? Every battle you can be like, nah, it's been 6 months. You go first. So
I want to see what you've been doing.
Good you got.
That is jokes.
But you fuck around and get smoked.
That's what happened with me and Josh.
That's
I was like,
saying,
it's
bro.
Josh, and then he went, and I was like, oh no. You just see the wind like.
Can I do my round again?
I'm gonna try again. I didn't know he was good.
Oh,
I love it.
dear. But yeah, I'm looking forward to.
Yeah, we're looking forward to seeing you back.
Firehouse one. It's gonna be sick.
Yes, and then there's a few in. I mean, check the Capsule's event calendar, which I'm doing my best to keep updated. But what have we got in August? Oh, BC1.
Oh yeah.
BC1 is on the 12th and 13th. BC1 UK. And then Lightfest will be. That's like not till September. Second and third of
Is that a
September.
Kingdoms League thing
That's
as well?
a Kingdoms League
Nice.
thing. So it's 2 days. So the first day will be Kingdoms League, so you don't have to spend the whole weekend, which is very considerate of them.
Amazing.
Yeah, cool. I think that's a rippity wrap.
Done. No.
Thanks for coming again, Chaldon, and thanks
All
for coming,
good, bro.
Josh.
Thanks for having me.
Appreciate you
Thank you
guys.
for having me
I
on
said
here.
it privately, but shout out for the clips that I heard at Unleash the Groove. It sounds like you were killing it.
Yeah, the music was actually dope.
Thank you.
That's dope.
Obviously, other things were a bit like, but defo highlight was Josh's music still.
We love you, Josh.
But then book Chaldon, because Chaldon's also got amazing tunes as well.
Obviously, because
Two of
both
my
you've got
favourite
the
DJs,
budget.
I have to say.
You've got the budget. We'll go back to back.
Let's go.
That'll actually be vibes. We need to do
that would be
There we go.
vibes.
We'll just start our own
Why don't you
event,
do
like we
some
said, and just do it.
collab
Exactly.
mixes or something?
Oh yeah. We had one like was that lockdown times or whatever. But yeah, we will do a.
We need to do like a go pirate or one of them and film it and like do the record.
Oh
so we can put
yeah,
it on
yeah.
YouTube as well.
That would be cool.
We've been going and stuff, so it'd be good to like.
Yeah, I'm down.
Yo,
Tell
bro,
me
that
when
would be
I'll
sick.
come
Yeah,
I'll come and film
let's
it.
do
Yeah,
that,
that'd be
man.
sick. I wanted actually that would be cool to do like more. It's been an idea that I've wanted to do, but I just haven't got around to it. Is like do like. On the Capsule YouTube or something, do like a set of Josh or that shout like just have like all the DJs and just like
sick.
and just have people in the back
That would
and
be
like
sick, bro.
That'd be sick.
vibes. All right, thanks everyone for tuning in.
To that.
Yeah, we're just making plans.
Yeah,
so
trust.
you want to go for coffee next week?
Yeah.
Shout out to Luke though.
Oh,
Luke for providing for the community and that. I appreciate
Always.
this.
I mean, he won an award.
Look at that.
yeah, I did.
Come on,
It's not for
Did that last time,
beating
but-
Josh in that battle, but you know.
Wow.
it's
you
fine.
joker.
Did you win that? The whole thing.
That battle. Yeah.
Oh, good.
Oh, so you lost to the winner?
Yeah,
Oh,
so I'll
you're
take that, I'll
blessed.
take
Yeah, that's like
You
the
know,
most
I
humble.
have to say,
Do you not remember? Because Neptune came over from France. I don't know if you remember.
I
He
don't.
DJs now.
yeah.
Yeah, but he was dancing at that event.
Ah,
Yeah.
sick.
Obviously, I don't know. I can't remember how old I was, but yeah,
Oh, sick.
he was vexed. I said you were vexed, but I think because he was like, "Who's this?
Yeah.
who's this kid who I've never seen before?"
Any
It's
kid.
like, yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Love it. You making people mad. Thanks for coming, guys.
Love,
Thanks for
bro.
listening, people.
Yeah.
Keep tuning in. I'm actually going to be away next week, but we still have an episode lined up for you with Justin from Netherlands. He's a sick
Hustle Kids.
No, that's I know who you're talking about. Justin. He's a hip hop theater artist. He did.
Sorry, I
Back
ruined
to
your
the
whole.
Lab.
I
No,
ruined
that's
your
all
whole outro.
We are breaking convention this year.
No.
He did a piece there with Chandni, Sasha, and
fairs.
Evian. But yeah, we did an interview with him time ago, and we did it at a studio that I'm not going to talk about because I don't want to give them any positive press because they're a piece of shit. But that, although that recording got interrupted, we're going to put out the interview. And what's super cool is that all the way through the interview, I'm talking about a solo of his that we had seen a few weeks prior to that, and we had reviewed it on the pod, and I really liked it. And he actually, like in the interview, he just dropped it on me, but he was like, do you want to put the solo at the end of this video? And it's like, it's nowhere else online.
that's sick.
And I was like, oh fuck,
That's
yeah.
cold,
So
that's
it's
cold.
going to be like the first time that solo's out online.
Come
Love
on,
that.
premiere now.
But it's at the end of the interview. So if you're watching and you seem interested in
That's
what we're
nice.
talking about, switch over to the YouTube if you're not on there already, and then you'll be able to see his whole solo, which I thought was sick. So
Amazing.
shout out to everyone involved except for that studio. And
Wow.
and yeah, catch you guys soon. Thank you everyone for tuning in. Please go and subscribe, like all the stuff on Instagram, follow us on Instagram, tell a friend,
Share that.
and yeah, peace out guys.